coming to Beverly Hills. Why is it always? We know why. Because they're shielded. They're insulated from this. He's insulated from it. And talking about Christ and all the rest, how are you married to that woman then? You ought to look in the mirror. The wife. He's bad enough. So we'll play him here in a second. Broader point about last night's event with Don Jr. We have some hilarious things. Couldn't have been more personable, behind the scene, and taller. I don't know. I don't know about the coif, though, Dan. I think a little bit too much hair gel there. I like a little bit free-flowing.
Who? You?
No, Don Trump Jr.
You think so?
Yeah, less hair gel.
Oh,
I think the hair could stand it. But Roe, fashion commentator sitting in the front row, said, well, I think Dan's suit was the perfect blend. It was the suit of the night there.
Really?
Yes.
That's very
kind,
yeah.
Yeah. She'll be texting you that.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Ro.
I didn't think people were as dressed up. Some of the people that came through and took the pictures with him were, as I expected them to be. And there was a priest in the front row, which we have an exorcism comment here from Don Jr. with a green Phillies hat on. So, and we did give a shout out to Linda Kearns, well-deserved, even though I couldn't see her when she stood up there. You know, the room was darkened. I like to see the audience. I like to see who we're working with, how they're reacting to all this. But what a great night. And the point is this. They don't understand, people that attack talk radio. It's not just about politics, heavy duty. Of course, we're in the middle of that. It's a club. It's a camaraderie. It's the fun. It's the bonding. They have no clue. Every one of these people that write about us, talk about, they have no clue because they're miserable. I mean, to see the effort that went into listeners to get Joe of Exton there last night, to meet Joe of Exton, I could hear the opera music playing in the background as he was speaking. It's just golden. Here's a guy who calls in. What is he on, 35, 40 seconds? He's a man of few words. He makes them count. He'll be calling in today on the side question, I'm sure, Dan. And yet he's a rock star with our listeners. And Earl of Tacony doesn't know who Joe is, but chauffeurs him around the world. That's quite a trip.
I want to underline and just thank Earl, because if you're just hearing about this, Joe of Exton, Earl, two of our top callers. I mean, Caller of the Year contest finalists, I believe, or semifinalists. Earl won that contest. He's always suggested that he drive Joe of Exton down to Mulligan's, but that's a very far distance for Joe to go. So when this happened, Joe, he got some tickets, and he didn't know if he was going to be able to get there. And I said, Earl's in the past suggested driving you. Earl jumped at the opportunity, had a whole itinerary written out, got on the phone with Joe's son. It was just a beautiful thing to see. And just to your point of the camaraderie and the relationships built in our audience and by conservatives, it's beautiful. And I don't know. Can I contrast real quick? Just get it behind you. Some of the sounds of outside. It's. We vote, we win. We vote, we win. And you notice that the camaraderie inside was amazing. You go outside and address these protesters, Dom, and you actually talk to them. And we'll get to that at some point whenever you want.
Let's play a little bit. So Dana and I went outside with the protesters. We like to chat with them, and the fun. But they did have fun on this, Dan. They had the signs about how many rubles are you getting paid in tonight.
Their signs.
I love the rubles. I love the Russian stuff.
They're like crayon made, though, eh?
Well, they are. They're just don't take the bait. I said hello, and the one woman next to the other woman said, "Don't take the bait." I just said hello. Don't take the bait.
What's
Watch
the bait?
it.
And just want to say hi.
Here's how it sounded.
We vote, we win. We vote, we win. Yeah, vote, we win. Radio, you guys listening? We vote, we win. Ever heard of it?
Oh, shame.
Be ashamed of myself.
We vote, we win.
Okay, I'm not arguing. I'm just you guys give us a call tomorrow.
I love that. Give us a call tomorrow.
Please give us a call if you were there last night, or if you were one of those protesters. We vote, we win in the middle of New Jersey. Oh, my God. But the rubles and the Russian stuff, that seemed to be the tenor of what they were going with.
For a political party that's gotten very creative with chants, it's a very boring chant, guys.
Yeah,
Couldn't you do better?
Yeah.
We vote, we win. Come on.
All right.
Dom's got nice hair.
There you go. That would be appropriate.
Maybe that's too nice,
We had one guy and one woman feel the blue suit. One guy comes up, I'm not feeling it. I just wanted to, that material. So a woman came over and then did it too. Here is, we'll play you, here's Don Jr., and I guess he has a lot of practice, and he is a funny, very funny guy, Don Jr. I think funnier than Trump in his own way, really.
Like a stand-up comedian, really. Like,
it was endless.
Charismatic is all.
Yeah. And here is Don Jr. impersonating Don Jr. Sr.
So I just said, literally, I go, I knew he was alive at that point, so I go, hey, man, you're the biggest badass I've ever seen. And we sort of talked about that for a little bit, and then, but it's still such an 90 minutes of no knowledge. You couldn't get through on cell phones. I guess the one thing Secret Service did right that day, they shut down communications in case there was IEDs or whatever, who knows. And, after that, I had to ask, I was like, just to break the ice, because it's,
sure,
so I'm the guy that will always be inappropriate. So I was just like, so listen, more importantly, how's the hair? yeah. Don, the hair is fine. The hair is fine. It's a little bloody, Don. It's a little bloody, but
we need more of that.
Yeah,
we got more.
It was. Listen. Like looking back, I'm like, you're an idiot, Don. Like, why did you? But like, I think we all actually probably needed that icebreaker, and then like, everything was okay. You get sort of the adrenaline dump of like this crazy.
Don, to that.
All right, and we went on to talk about what he thinks about the Secret Service. Dick Blumenthal, Dan, of all people, I'm not sure if I see it on here. Yeah, I do see it. We'll play that in a minute. Yesterday, and this whole thing about the shooting, Dick Blumenthal, and this is Da Nang Dick, this is a guy who's a stone-cold progressive, Connecticut, said he was even more appalled by the Secret Service stonewalling now of what's going on. These guys, with their 60 days, they still are not talking to Congress. The Congress needs to examine this and to exert more authority and not let them lawyer up, not let them run out the clock and say you're going to jail if you don't talk. This is your charge to protect the life of the presidential candidates or president. And we're how many days in? I even forget back to Gettysburg. So we'll get into that today, too. But I wanted to start with Johnny Legend because the one good thing out of the pets, and did it happen or didn't it happen in Springfield, the media now has to at least talk about this. DJ Dan just sent me this. There's a town near Gettysburg with a Civil War orphanage that has historical value, Gettysburg, that the town council has said, nope, you're not going to put 1,000 Haitian immigrants in there. Federal government is saying, watch us. So we got a Civil War showdown now outside of Gettysburg with this historic orphanage, it's called, where they want to put all these Haitians that are there. So we know of 4 cities, Aurora, Venezuelan gangs taking over housing projects or apartments. We know Springfield's a biggie. Charleroi, they're going to be on today at 1 o'clock, the mayor and the councilman. That's where they were talking about putting Creole on the stop signs so that people would stop. 2 businesses have left. Some think it's because of what's going on there, although the councilman who's on says, I'll tell you the good side of Haitian immigrants also. But the downside of what we're seeing is incredible. But Johnny Legend, sitting in Beverly Hills, tells us about Christ, tells us about the Haitians. Apparently, at one point in his life, he lived in Springfield, Ohio. Here's Johnny Legend.
My name is John Legend, and I was born as John R. Stevens from a place called Springfield, Ohio. Oh, Springfield, Ohio. You may have heard of Springfield, Ohio this week. In fact, if you watched the debate, we were discussed by our presidential candidates.
That's discussed it.
A very special,
teacher coming
interesting man named Donald J. Trump. Now, Springfield has had a large influx of Haitian immigrants who have come to our city. Now, our city had been shrinking for decades.
Shrinking.
We didn't have enough jobs. We didn't have enough opportunity. So people left and went somewhere else. So when I was there, we had upwards of 75,000 people. And in the last 5 years, we were down to like 60,000 people. But of late, during the Biden administration, there have been more jobs that opened up, more manufacturing jobs, more plants, factories that needed employees and were ready to hire people. So we had a lot of job opportunities, and we didn't have enough people in our town of 60,000 people to fill those jobs. And during the same time, there had been upheaval and turmoil in Haiti, and the federal government granted visas and immigration status to a certain number of Haitian immigrants so they could come.
Okay, but let me stop him here. Then he went on to say, well, of course you have to expect this, that, and the other. This poor town being inundated. Aren't there opportunities, Johnny Legend, in Beverly Hills? Don't you need landscapers or something there? My God, look at those things. How about Steph Curry's house? I know he needs some landscapers. What we're seeing here, and again, it maddens me. Look, we've said it, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't want to win. Trump missed a great opportunity here by going forward and screaming about the pets and all that. Laura Loomer in his ear. That's my sense here. Rather than saying, he could have said there are allegations of that. But here's the main thing, David Muir, that you and your colleague won't understand because of where you live. And that is these towns are being taken apart. This one in Gettysburg just broke this morning, near Gettysburg. Historic Civil War. Battle over an orphanage. They want to put in Haitians, 1,000 Haitian refugees. Why are they not in places like Beverly Hills or Chestnut Hill, all these hills places? We know why. And yet we get lectured all the time by the Taylor Swifts, the Johnny Legends.
You might imagine there are some challenges.
Challenges.
Integrating a new population, new
Can you imagine?
Language, new culture, new dietary preferences, all kinds of reasons why there might be growing pains.
Growing pains. This guy's sitting in Beverly Hills. And what bothers me the most, and that's why there's got to be another debate, Trump can do this, come on, to make the case. Look at the body of evidence. Look at how clear this has been provoked now. This is what they're doing to us. This is what they've done to us. These communities are under attack. They're being taken down by this. And this isn't even illegal immigrants. This is by fiat, 300,000 more from Haiti. Look, you got to feel for the people in Haiti. The bottom line is we feel for Americans first. Don't lecture me about Christ. That's the worst thing, this guy, about Jesus. Johnny Legend, he and his wife, about Jesus. Where do you get this nerve? You get it because you're gifted. You have a great voice. You have a great style. So you're one of a kind. Everybody has to kowtow to you. And they're not going to say, are you kidding me? You go back to Springfield, Johnny. Go back to Springfield, Ohio. Now, maybe Trump, I was thinking this, Dan, last night with Don Jr. I asked it because it was a listener question. I could tell deep down, Don Jr. is probably thinking, yeah, if Trump didn't say what he said in the debate in the manner that he did, you can bet we would do a town hall right there in Springfield, Ohio. Could Trump still do that? Maybe. I still would do it. Or Charleroi, or Aurora, or this town outside of Gettysburg, Scotland. It just begs to be done. And go after Taylor Swift. Go after Johnny Legend. They're not going to face this. I can't imagine. I mean, Dan, where you were living before versus where you are now, there's a heck of a difference, wouldn't you say, in quality of life? And not going to put up with it as they are in the city.
When walking the dog, I had to be worried about getting shot. Now I have to worry about coyotes.
Oh, well,
quite a difference in quality of life.
Well, that's better. I'm sure Maisie can handle it. She likes in the Old West. She can handle that. All right, let me give you the side question today. If you were there last night, we'd love to hear from you. It was a spectacular night. We'll play you more sound as we go along.
I did grab him on Springfield, Ohio, if you wanted that.
Who's that?
Don Jr.
Yeah, let's hear Don Jr. on it. Yes.
Backstage, we were talking, maybe a little upset, the debate on Tuesday night. I was watching in the spin room, as I told you. Where were you watching, and what were you seeing?
I was in Ohio, actually. I was doing all-day events with Bernie Moreno over there, try to, win up some United States Senate seats. So I did 5 events there, coincidentally right near Springfield.
We'll get to it.
Where they definitely weren't eating dogs and cats until now everyone realizes they actually were. And there were calls from 2 weeks ago before it was a meme and before it was a story. And, that's not the outrage cycle. Once it became about a cat, all of a sudden they got in the news. But the fact that actual citizens from these towns are getting nothing while they're giving thousands of dollars a month to migrants that have been transplanted there. And the citizen, that outrage and those tears from genuine people just upset at what's going on, that gets no coverage.
Yeah, good stuff. Right on the money. Absolutely. Do the town hall still there. Do the other debate. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Lindsey Davis, the colleague of David Muir, an interview with the LA Times in which she talks about, she breaks the seal. They weren't going to let what went on in the CNN interview go on. They were going to be intervening. They talked about it well in advance. So I had people, nobody last night, Dan, but they say, well, then why would you do a third debate? Are you nuts? This can be dealt with. This is to our advantage. Yesterday we had Harry Harroway, Bill O'Reilly, and I have others too that say, of course you can do this. She won't be as protected in another debate, and Trump will be better. This is the opportunity. I think in the end he'll do it. I know he said he wouldn't yesterday, but that may be negotiating. I think it's going to happen. All right, so today is Friday the 13th, National Superstition Day. Dan, I don't have too many, to be honest. You and Henry may have to carry the. I'll say this, though. I looked up some of the top superstitions on lists, and God bless you is. I just think that's like a courtesy. I don't think it's. I do that constantly, as you know.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So it's almost like a reflex.
Yeah, it's like a reflex, yeah.
So what I want today, Dom, is because it's Friday the 13th,
right.
People might not believe in superstitions, or maybe they do, and, I'd love for someone to call in with a superstition they do actually abide by. But expanding it, I mean, things that you do in life that you feel, maybe it's a little, I hate to say, but a tinge of OCD that you have to do it in life, or else you feel like something's going to go wrong.
Exactly. Why take a chance?
Why take a chance? So, Dom, it's weird, but every night, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is a little bit of OCD. I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep perfectly unless I make the bed right before I get into bed, and Maisie hates it.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. It has to be perfectly coiffed.
What a week this has been.
What? Not when you wake up in the morning and get up and then you make it?
No. Well, no, it's dirty all day. We just do it right before bed. I need it perfect.
Oh my God.
It needs to be pristine when I get in.
Are you ironing it?
No, but that's a good idea. Maybe I'll start
ironing it. There you go.
Let's get a perfect fold in the corner.
And are you wearing boxers or briefs when you're doing that?
I am wearing my briefs because it's funny you say that. I'm not good with boxers, and maybe there's a little superstition involved in that, or maybe that's just pure OCD, I think.
All right, Henry, what's yours?
Well, every time I play basketball, whether it's shooting hoops, going to the park, going to the gym, something like that, I have to make the last shot before I leave.
Really?
And it used to be like I wouldn't touch the ball again after that either. I'd like hold it on my shirt. I'm like, this ball.
Oh man, this is a great one.
Because like if I didn't make the last shot, my jump shot would go away. I'd lose all my powers.
So let me ask you, Henry, what if there's another person that has the same superstition? Are you guys just going back and forth? One of you finally gets the last shot and you're just tired you can't shoot anymore?
Yeah, I would go all night. I would, if it's a battle, it's a battle I'd win because I'm not losing my jumper.
All right. Oh, we got a basketball matchup here, Dan. I've never played a producer. We'll have to consider this. Yeah. All right. So that is great stuff. Bizarre on Dan's side.
Oh, there's one more I'll do. I guess we can kind of expand it to you a little bit. You feel you must drive with your left foot or else you're going to get in a car crash.
Well, I broke the ankle, and now I'm for life addicted. It's pretty hard to switch back. I tried it. It was not easy. Always with the left foot. All right, 855-839-1210. Get in on the side on that. Response to Johnny Legend. Is this something that's, if Republicans handle this correctly, this breaks open, it brings home what's happening in America. And are dopes going to listen to Taylor Swift? About 800,000 now or more have registered as a result of the link that she put up. So why? What is it is it Taylor Swift driving him? Will they actually show up and vote? We'll talk about more about that, too, on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I'm telling you what happened last night. If you don't like that, I don't care. We'll talk about it. I'll give you my phone number, and I'll also explain to you the way the tooth fairy works. You can live in that bubble, but I try not to. Even though I'm rooting my ass off for Trump, and I want her to go down in flames, that was not a great night for Trump. We all can say ABC News should cease to exist. They have no credibility. That was a disgrace. There's no good with ABC. It was all bad and ugly. So if that bothers you, that's fine.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Back to school? Make the call to Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown at 800-300-0003. Prepare your student now for a great school year. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, a pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, there's a student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social, and emotional, and including bipolar. Do not wait. Help your students start strong. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for a no-obligation tour and consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today at 800-300-0003. Online at newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey, a familiar name, but ask yourself, what's he done for you and your family? In his 18th year in Washington, what's Bob Casey got to show for it? He made sure COVID relief checks could go to convicted felons. You heard that right. Bob Casey made sure COVID checks went to convicted felons. When reasonable people tried to stop murderers and rapists from getting checks, Casey voted no. Even the Boston Marathon bomber ended up with a big fat check. Casey voted the party line instead of using some common sense. And with families struggling to pay the bills, Casey had this to say about throwing around their tax dollars.
Go big or go home.
Bob Casey went big. He botched it. And it's time for him to finally go home. Bob Casey is wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Hey, Daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
As a young kid, my mother, who escaped communist Czechoslovakia, sent me there every summer. I spoke the language fluently. I had friends there. I've waited in the bread lines that Bernie Sanders thinks are so glamorous.
Wait a minute, you speak Czech? Is that the language?
I speak fluent Czech, yeah.
Can you give us a little Czech, Don?
Já mluvím perfektně česky, můžu mluvit celý den.
No coffee, no cream,
yeah,
no sugar.
Exactly.
No sugar.
That's a great response.
So I grew up in, I spent my summers in communist Czechoslovakia, and it was great, but I learned to appreciate what we have here as Americans.
All right, so, and he also, I think, went to the Hill School. Is that the one that's in Pottstown? And I'd hate to be sent to Pottstown for high school. No offense, but I don't know. It would be strange from South Philly, let alone Trump Tower. We did talk to. Watch.
Sounds like The Sims.
Dan will be using that somehow or another for a money melody. We'll translate that. It was riveting stuff last night. Next event, we're not sure, but I hope that you get to be part of it. It was as spectacular as any, given the stakes, given where we are, given everything. All right, but Johnny Legend, we played that for you. Just incredible. They can't get enough of themselves to continue to lecture us. That's what this is about. The question is, will Americans who are experiencing this or hear about this, will they be revolted? And then in one stuff that I saw from Legend talking about Jesus and Christ and welcoming strangers, my God, is the country going to wise up and say, the prattling Taylor Swift, I'm waiting any moment for the Kelceys, at least Travis Kelce, one of them, to lecture us and make this into, we need calm, not chaos. And just think of what these towns are going through. This orphanage, as I said, right outside of Gettysburg, and we were just recently to Gettysburg. Everything is historic there almost. I mean, the bed and breakfast we stayed in, they kept the bullet holes. Why would they not? It's authentic. All right, 855-839-1210. You get a line. Let's go to Steve in Norristown to start us off on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Steve.
Yeah, hi, Dom. When I heard that clip you played of John Legend making a comment about dietary issues.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that sounded like he's almost being a straight man setting up another cat joke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Steve, this is an opportunity. Look, Trump did not position this well, but what it did is it called attention to it. Now there's time to go back and send the message through these people. What I would do, I'd round up as many as I could, put them on a town hall. I'd buy TV time, do something like that, and let them talk about day-to-day what it's like in their town. There's at least a dozen of them across the country that are experiencing this to greater or lesser degree. Well, look, where you are in Norristown. Norristown's a dumping ground for everything wrong in Montgomery County. All those things were put there, and they said, well, this is where they belong. No, let's put them in other places in Montgomery County that are more affluent. Let's whack it up. What's the most affluent place in Montgomery County? I'm trying to think what I would say is the most affluent. Let's put some of the homeless shelters there. Thank you, Steve.
But I got a side question.
Yes, go ahead.
For the Superstition, I'd say probably the most popular one in Philadelphia would be you can't put a jersey on the William Penn statue on City Hall.
That's a great one. That is a great one. Put that one down. Might be in the winner's circle. All right, coming up, Tiffany Justice, a friend from Moms for Liberty, one of the co-founders, is in the middle of something that I think is a teachable lesson about how to deal with a hostile media. We'll explain. She actually was dealing with the fact checker. Yep, the guy, that Dale guy, the fact checker. She's next here on Talk Radio 1210. First, let me tell you about Captain Chucky's. School underway, more hectic schedules, all kinds of activities, football. Captain Chucky can take care of one part of that. Let him manage your meal planning. Now, first of all, they have that wild shrimp scampi ravioli, all new. And Chucky's has been teaming up with Vera Pasta, offering lobster, crab, and now wild shrimp ravioli. And remember, a new big item that's been a real favorite of Rose, the delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick, for those who like to spice it up. It's a perfect time, though, as we head into fall, to get into all the other things they have. Desserts, soups, sides, appetizers, all highest quality ingredients. In addition to the crab cakes, the big rival is that Gulf shrimp they have. It's a huge hit, always wild caught, never farm raised. And those delicious Dom rolls. Try one. So visit Captain Chucky's, location near you. Go to WeLoveCrabCakes.com, WeLoveCrabCakes.com. Headed to the shore? Go to CaptainChucky'sAtTheShore.com.
Do you have shoeboxes full of photos? Today only, radio listeners get VIP access to the new Photo Legacy Box. Get your family's photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of 4x6 photos. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media, so you can get your favorite memories on VHS or Grandpa's film reels from the 40s digitized too. Take advantage of this exclusive offer on the new Photo Legacy Box today and preserve your past for as low as 7 cents. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Pending approved credit. Offers cannot be combined. Excludes taxes and tax. Take a knee, car buyers. This time of year, Jack Dell and the team at Dell Chevy know it's all about penetration. Good, sustained market penetration. Are you ready for some savings? Score with end-of-model year savings at Dell Chevrolet. No need to fight for every inch at other dealers. Dell Chevy always sees a hole and gets right up in there with the Dell Vehicle Exchange Program. Right now, get out of your old car or truck and into a new vehicle and keep your payments the same or maybe even make them less. No holds, no illegal touching, just clean blocking from bad deals. Buy with no money down and 0% financing every day at Dell Chevrolet. Don't get caught from behind. Keep running to Dell Chevrolet for end-of-model year savings. Dell Chevy is close, located on Route 30 in Paoli. No matter where you are, Phoenixville, Westchester, Delaware County, you're just minutes away. If you're worried you're going to pay too much for your next car, you don't know Jack. Online at DellChevrolet.com. Say habla español.
Jack, sell them for less.
Weather is sponsored by Indeed.
The warm and dry stretch of weather will continue through the weekend. Today, a mixture of sunshine and clouds, high temperature above average at 84. Tonight, some fog possible overnight, low 65 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. Warmer on Saturday with a mix of sun and clouds with a high 87.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. I love that Moms of Liberty, in addition to everything else, is willing to go on 60 Minutes, knowing, what they're going to try to do with them. Or duke it out with the ultimate fact checker, the Dale guy on CNN. Daniel Dale. Last week, or when they had an event with President Trump with them talked about kids secretly sending kids to school for gender-affirming surgeries. The school's doing that with other providers. And they wanted to clarify that the schools are an on-ramp for these types of activities, in the words of Moms for Liberty. But I thought more broadly, they deal with this all the time, and yet they go into the lion's den to deal with it. Why do that? Because that's one of my top things. If you can walk in there and duke it out with them, they don't know what to do. All right, so we have with us co-founder of Moms for Liberty. MomsForLiberty.org is the website. Tiffany Justice here on Talk Radio 1210. Tiffany, there's a lot to admire about Moms for Liberty. Ultimate grassroots, it gets results, as we've seen with the recent court win, but willing to go into 60 Minutes and the like. Why do that?
Because that's where the people are that need to hear the message the most. You can speak to the echo chamber all day long, and we can all stand around and agree with each other that gender ideology is horrible and, it shouldn't be happening. But until we go out and change the hearts and minds of the American public, we will not make progress on this issue, or the issue of parental rights. And so it's just really about Tina and I being dedicated to helping parents to be as informed as possible about issues so they can make the best decisions for their children. And there's no mistake, it's their decision to make, but we want parents to have accurate information when they make those decisions.
Let me probe at the broader thing first before we get into this most recent one. So going to these places so we're not in the echo chamber, couldn't agree more. What's your mindset, though? What are you wary of? What are you trying to do, the two of you, when you did 60 Minutes or some of these things? It seems to me not that you're not amiable all the time, but you really project that just so people see, hey, we're not monsters. They're the ones that are beating up on us, like David Muir in the debate the other night.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only way you can go out and you can tell people that, right? Oh, this is what's happening when we're on this show or what have you. But the truth is that until people see it for themselves, then they don't know the depth of the way that media is captured. And so, you talk about the fact check in CNN. I interviewed President Trump. It was a huge honor to be able to sit across from him. And what we do at Moms for Liberty is try to get a seat at every table. And so to be able to interview the former president and perhaps future president of the United States meant that was like a huge seat at the table for our moms. And I asked questions about things they were concerned about. But then President Trump made a comment about the schools and their involvement in gender transition. And, the media is so flippant about this issue. And the truth of the matter is that it's a school-to-clinic pipeline. They're introducing students to this ideology in the schools, and then it sets the kids down a path that goes to medical transition and surgical transition often, and too often, we'll say that. And so, that fact checker wanted to kind of try to call President Trump a liar. And the truth of the matter is he opens a window into an issue that the mainstream media doesn't want to cover, and he does it in a way that's provocative enough that they have no choice but to, because they want the ratings. And then it's our job, the people who are concerned about the issues, to advance and move the issue forward and come with facts. And then that's what I did in that fact check.
Yep, calling it the on-ramp for this. And Tiffany, I think the first point in this, what's the explanation why so many of these kids, particularly young girls, even as young as 8 or 9, suddenly this is going on in schools that we're seeing it? The only logical conclusion I see is that it's a trend. It's almost trendy to think about this at least a little bit. And sometimes it leads to these ghastly consequences that you can't go back from.
Yeah, Abigail Shrier wrote a book called Irreversible Damage, and it talks about the social contagion of something called ROGD kids, rapid onset gender dysphoria. So these aren't children that were presenting with gender confusion early in their lives. That is something that exists. Oftentimes when we've seen in boys, it means that they're gay, not that you should chop their penis off. As is being done right now with boys who don't necessarily, feel like they identify with the male stereotype. But, there's been a rise of this in the schools because the girls, look at anything else that happened. Remember the rise in anorexia and bulimia. Then we had all the cutting issues.
Exactly.
Right? It's a self-harm. The most heartbreaking pictures I see, I've seen the double mastectomy pictures. They call it top surgery. When you look at some of these girls and they have the cut marks all over their arms, and you see how much pain they're in, and that their breasts aren't what's causing that. And, so anyway, it's a social contagion. There is no doubt about it. And there's been a lot of research around it, and it just needs to stop, because unlike being goth and getting maybe getting a tattoo or piercing or dyeing your hair, this is irreversible damage, as Abigail said.
We're talking co-founder of Moms for Liberty, Tiffany Justice. And Tiffany, this very thing this week, I've found 4 or 5 now, when it was said that Kamala Harris has advocated and not walked it back, that migrants, people here illegally, even they would be eligible for gender transition surgery, all the butcheries we're talking about. Time Magazine online, The Atlantic, bunch of others castigated it, and then they went, they looked back, simple research, and they said, we must have missed this. It's stunning.
It is stunning, but the fact is that, Kamala is a liar. She's a Marxist. We know she is a Marxist. I was so glad that President Trump called her out for that on the debate stage. You saw her have that smile on her face. She knows she's a Marxist. They always marry a truth to a lie. And so we just have to start calling them out on this stuff. And the truth is that she did say that. And even CNN was shocked. So at some point, I think I told you I did an interview once with a reporter, and we were talking about the books. And then off camera, she looked at me and she said, I really agree with you on this issue, but, I can't say that on camera. And I just looked at her and I was like, you should probably start asking yourself why. Like, at some point, we need to be honest about stuff. And I think the journalists, hopefully they're going to find their ethics again.
Tiffany, one other thing, too, and, we didn't say we'd talk about this, but you can handle this stuff. And I'll tell you what I think on it. It's a school-related issue. And my take is I haven't seen it fully, but there's a new movement of a new graphic novel about January 6th that's being sent to every public high school. I think from what I've seen so far here with this, it would be allowable. But then the question I'd have to the school is, there are other things that have another point of view that's pretty provocative. What's the standard here, and would that be allowed? As long as you're doing that, I don't see this as material that is sexually graphic and revolting and all that. I would allow it as long as the policy would allow things that might give another point of view on this.
I think it really comes down to what kinds of books in the library and how are we selecting those books. And what we found at Moms for Liberty was that often there wasn't a process in place to even talk about how the books were being selected. And that's how a lot of this stuff got in. So I would want to make sure that there's a process in place that is, making sure that there are balanced perspectives in the library. I think it's important. And also to go further than that, making sure that the books that are in the libraries are aligned with the curriculum. Libraries don't have an infinite amount of space. And there's a set amount of money that is given to schools for library content, probably not enough. So I think that there's some other questions to be answered. And I think that, again, local control here is the most important thing. These decisions should be made as close to the people as possible on their school board.
Yeah, and the goal, and you just articulated, I know you stand by it. If I were in that library situation, I'd be looking for quality stuff that is relevant to back up the school curriculum. And then I would be thinking, how balanced are these? I mean, how in the world do we have hundreds of progressive or liberal authors and no conservatives, like the Ben Carson book or something? When he's on, he talks about that. There's something wrong there. What are you missing? Why are you not? Are you intentionally doing that?
Yeah, they are intentionally doing that. The head of the American Library Association is a woman named, I think it's Emily Drabinski, and she said, like when she got elected as the president, something like, I can't believe that a Marxist lesbian is going to be the next, president of the ALA. Yeah. And I don't care who she wants. She should love who she wants to love. And I think it's great. You're an adult. You make your decisions. It's great. But on the other side of it, the Marxist part is a little concerning because Marxism and communism have taken the lives of over 100 million people in the last 100 years. And this is the person that's giving out the awards to the books that are just the most amazing award-winning books that we have to have in our library, right? None of this is a coincidence.
Absolutely. Great work from Moms for Liberty. MomsForLiberty.org is where you can go to find out about it. Tiffany, thank you very much as always.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Tiffany Justice here on Talk Radio 1210. Yeah, I would allow this novel about January 6th if I thought the policy allowed other things on the other side. Otherwise, I'm not doing it. All right, 855-839-1210. And I invited Tiffany on because they're willing to go into the lion's den. I think it's a mistake. You heard it yesterday. I'll say it again today. We learned just before the event with Don Jr. last night that President Trump has rejected what he called a third debate because he debated Biden, now Harris. Okay. I think it's such an opportunity. I think deep down Harris knows what Chris Christie said. She can't replicate this. Yeah, but Dom, they're going to be biased here. But we've already talked about, though, how to out them and how to defeat them in doing this. I mean, there's all kind of wild conspiracies. The latest at ABC put a light that was shining in Trump's eyes to make him look left to right for some reason. I don't know about that. I think his people would have been checking out lighting and all. But coming up, we'll talk about this LA Times article in which they say, the Muir and the woman involved, yeah, the ABC, we're not going to allow what happened on CNN. What was wrong with CNN's debate? They don't like the outcome. The moderators stay out of it. They weren't fact check. All right, you get in now, 855-839-1210.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs? Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-224-8517. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-224-8517.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-224-8517. Ask about senior and military discounts.
Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-224-8517, or go to oxcarcare.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory changing daily. It's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding, or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time, and now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. To this point, we predicted it way back on Tuesday, if you remember. No, Monday. That Springfield, Ohio would be the center of the universe, or a large part in the debate. Springfield schools are closed today because of bomb threats. The mayor's saying, well, they get this hateful literature and it's from these anti-immigrant Trump supporters. Well, that's what they allege. Meaning the people writing this. We support Trump. Is it that? Or do we have somebody doing that to besmirch Trump supporters again? Certainly a possibility. My theory is always, these threats, these things like this, you got to do better, kick in more doors, track them to the ends of the earth, drag them out, and get them the fullest punishment under the extent of the law. So that's happening. But speaking of elitist, we were talking about Johnny Legend, Taylor Swift, Sunny Hostin, the ladies on The View. We had quite a nice segment toward the end of it last night with Don Trump Jr. when he was on the 5,000th episode of The View. what it was like during the break. And he had to be careful because of a priest in the front row there as far as during the breaks. Dan, do we have Sonny on this? Henry, got it? Okay. Here is Sonny Hostin talking about Springfield, Ohio, and how she's told that the Haitians are revitalizing that community.
Donald Trump is still campaigning on lies about Haitian immigrants eating pets in Ohio. They're eating the cats.
They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the pets.
Yes.
Say it.
They're eating the. I don't want to repeat it. They're not eating the pets.
Come on, it's hilarious. It's so stupid.
It seems like it's hilarious, but let me say this: as a person who comes from a husband who is half Haitian and who has Haitian children,
right?
These baseless, racist attacks against the Haitian community must stop. Haitians are a dignified people. Haitians are a hard-working
Have you been to Haiti?
And they are people fleeing a corrupt country and government. Mm-hmm. They are here legally under an immigration program. They have temporary protected status. And white supremacists have now rallied in the city of Springfield, Ohio. They have denounced immigrants at local public meetings. And on Thursday, several public buildings, including a school and the city hall, were evacuated after receiving bomb threats. Let me say this. Haitians have also told ABC News that they are now scared for their lives. Haitians, which now I think are about 15% of the Springfield, Ohio population, have been credited with revitalizing that city. Yeah. They have jobs. They are raising their families. They are going to school. And they have revitalized the downtown area. And finally, they are contributing to the town's growth and have helped fuel the economy since the pandemic. And that is coming from the other people that live in Springfield, Ohio.
My God, these people, right, sitting in their $1 million enclaves. Whoopi Goldberg lives in a gated community. How can she do that? Isn't that racist somehow or another? You can't. Well, what is gates and walls? Sonny Hostin, millions of dollars a year. Taylor Swift, Johnny Legend, lecturing the people of these towns. Well, guess what? Thanks to her Clean efforts, because finding these people, we're going to go to Charleroi. I have to break it up to say that.
Think of Charlemagne the God.
All right, Charleroi. And talk.
It's a small 4,000-person town of Charleroi, Pennsylvania.
Trump shouting out yesterday to them. We have the main guy, the councilman, and we have the mayor. And they are very balanced. I talked with them today to lay out what it's like there when they have this surge of people, and they have businesses closing there also. Yeah, Johnny Legend, no, they're not Christian enough. Sonny Hostin, how dare you? We need more. Put them in your neighborhood. Why is that never that's a racist question. Why is it people living in these neighborhoods never have this type of influx? Well, they wouldn't have enough money to be here. Oh, really? Why don't you have low-income housing then? Phone lines are 855-839-1210. They're next here on Talk Radio 1210.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there. investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
Following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for president.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors, like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla, and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Lose 20 to 40 plus pounds guaranteed with NJ Diet. NJ Diet uses DNA and blood work to help you lose weight and keep it off. Tune into their radio show Sundays at 2 or visit NJDiet.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I'm telling you what happened last night. If you don't like that, I don't care. We'll talk about it. I'll give you my phone number, and I'll also explain to you the way the tooth fairy works. You can live in that bubble, but I try not to. Even though I'm rooting my ass off for Trump, and I want her to go down in flames, that was not a great night for Trump. We all can say ABC News should cease to exist. They have no credibility. That was a disgrace. There's no good with ABC. It was all bad and ugly. So if that bothers you, that's fine.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
First in town, Charleroi, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Charleroi. What a beautiful name. But it's not so beautiful now. Has experienced a 2,000% increase in the population of Haitian migrants under Kamala Harris. So Pennsylvania, remember this when you have to go to vote. Okay, just remember this. 2,000% increase. This is a small town. All of a sudden they got thousands of people. The schools are scrambling to hire translators for the influx of students who don't speak not a word of English. costing local taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. Likewise, the small...
All right, that's President Trump yesterday in Arizona, I believe, shouting out, as we said at the top of the Giordano Show, the town of Charleroi, Pennsylvania. We have, with good fortune, tracked down Councilman Larry Solaski and Mayor Greg Dorflor to join us here and talk about this town in the context of what we've heard in several places. Larry, it was a pleasure to talk with you today. And Mayor Greg, welcome to Philadelphia, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Larry, for listeners, you told me you're in the Westmoreland County area. Give us an idea of where you're located in relation to Philadelphia. We're Philadelphia-centric, so where would we go to get to your town?
Well, first of all, just to correct you, we are located, Charlotte, Pennsylvania is located in Washington County.
Okay.
And we're about 29 miles south of Pittsburgh.
Okay. So, Larry, this has been building up. I told you that a listener of ours, I think it was Bill at Bucks County last week, when Springfield was involved, gave us a clue toward he grew up there and he moved to Bucks County. Question I have for you first, and then we'll ask the mayor the same thing, just to get your perspective. How did this happen? That's the thing. In other words, who made the decision to do this? Were businesses involved? How did it suddenly happen that all these people are being sent to your town?
Well, sir, that's the million-dollar question. And if you can provide an answer to that, we'd certainly like to know. In the blink of an eye, Charleroi, which was a small town, we're only about 0.9 miles long. Driving through it, we're about 16.2 miles in circumference. We have been transformed, and I'm not going to say overnight because this has been taking place over the past few years, where Charleroi has now transformed itself into a predominantly heavy immigrant community. And again, what's come along with that has been no help from the federal government, the state government. You can date back, through the Biden-Harris administration, their border policies, which are weak. You could go back to Governor Wolf, who provided no assistance to the borough of Charleroi. You could go to Governor Shapiro and especially Senator Bob Casey. We should have been delivered a plan along with proper funding when this decision to bring the number of immigrants into our community that has been delivered.
Okay, well, Larry, hold up for a second now. Let me bring Mayor Greg in. So, Mayor Greg, do these people just suddenly show up? Do they have a piece of paper? Does the federal government call you as the mayor and saying, hey, we're bringing thousands of people in? They just moved in?
They just basically moved in and started working in some of the local packing plants and stuff like that, and opening stores and whatnot. And, they just basically showed up.
So, Mayor, when this happens, now, neither one of you, but you can speak if there is. Larry didn't tell me of any sort of pet issues here, right? Is that clear? Where you are, there's no allegation of taking pets and eating them and sacrificing, right?
No, I haven't heard of any of that.
All right, the allegations seem to be the numbers.
I also sit on the regional police board, and there's been nothing brought to us through the police chief or anything, with complaints or anything, so I haven't heard of anything like that.
All right, so, Mayor, the number one complaint, as I get it, and I think it may have been Larry at some point, there was talk of putting Creole on stop signs, is people that somehow or another have licenses or don't, are driving recklessly. Maybe they come from a country where it doesn't strike me traffic laws are much enforced. Is that the biggest thing, other than the numbers, which we've kind of clarified here, and the strain it puts on the system? Is that the biggest problem, Mayor?
It's definitely a big issue for sure, because they don't understand the traffic signs or whatnot, and then they don't know that there's actual laws about insurance and licenses and registrations. So the police are constantly dealing with that, where they're not actually, legal to drive in PA or have the right insurance and stuff like that.
And I can imagine that gets citizens pretty fired up. So, Councilman Larry, you told me two of your biggest businesses, and you really were adamant to get the word out on this, are apparently, one is already left and the other might leave town. What does that have to do with this issue, if anything?
Well, if you want to coincide with the issue, the loss of jobs with the one plant, Quality Pasta, that left the Friday before Labor Day, that was 100 jobs. There was a considerable number of immigrants who worked at that plant. The Anchor Hawking, originally called Corning Glass, that provides 325 jobs there. There's really only about a dozen immigrants that hold those jobs. If you take a look at the loss of jobs in general and the ones from the immigrant community, how is that going to impact the community? What are they going to do? Where are they going to find work at? Are they going to be sitting idle, unemployed, and then not being productive within the community? That's going to present concerns. When somebody's unemployed, you got a lot of time on your hands. And a lot of things that go through your mind. And sometimes, some bad things can take place when you have too much time on your hands.
All right, producer Dan has a question for you guys about the schools. Dan?
Well, schools and what you're talking about here with, now we're going to have a strain on, I would guess, your local unemployment. Is that correct? Do the Haitian immigrants have any right to the unemployment money, or how's that work now that they're out of work? And I want to dig into the schools a little bit, because back in May, you guys had to get a visit from the state to get some extra funding because the Haitian situation was overwhelming schools to a degree. So first off, let's go through them first. Mayor, how about you? What do you say to that?
Well, there's definitely a problem with the schools because I'm friends with a few teachers and school board members, and they are, there's definitely issues there because of they have to spend so much extra time with the immigrant kids, with the learning curves with that, and the homegrown kids, if you want to call them, we feel are kind of pushed aside, and they're not getting the attention they need because they're trying to help the Haitians with what they're doing.
And Councilman Larry, how do you see it?
Well, the language barrier does present a problem in the Charlevoix School District. Again, they're not getting the help that they need funding-wise, and that presents a tax burden on the taxpayers within the Charlevoix School District. I know that within the immigrant community, we're not recognizing any tax revenue for the borough of Charleroi. Sure, they reside in landlord-tenant dwellings within our community. Yes, the landlords, they are paying taxes, but we're not seeing any influx of revenue from the number of the few thousand that we have in our town.
All right, I want to start with the mayor. So, Mayor, big picture, when you see this, Springfield, Ohio, Aurora, there's some place near Gettysburg where there's a big fight of putting 1,000 Haitians in there in an historic orphanage building, and then your town. What's the big picture to you? What do you want to get out there? I had a long conversation with Larry, but I want to ask you, to America, because, this is a voice, this is a big station. What do you want to tell them when you have people like Johnny Legend, Sonny Hostin, Taylor Swift, and others essentially saying, Why are you people complaining so much about this stuff? Why don't you just welcome people?
The big picture is, I mean, as long as they're productive, they work, they take care of their property, there are not any problems with the law. I don't have a big issue with that, but it's the other stuff that goes with it that is the problem with the schools and the driving and things like that.
Yeah. So is it fair to say, Mayor, you are taking the burden of all these intentions of people, 300,000 Haitians here, Venezuelans there, and they're not going to Beverly Hills. They're not going to, the fanciest places in New York. They're being sent suddenly, as you said. They just show up in towns like yours. You're forced to bear the burden of this so-called goodwill.
Right.
And council,
like Larry said, we get no funding.
Right.
They didn't there was no plan to help us, get through this. They were just like, oh, they're here, deal with it.
And Larry, do you see it that way?
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, it's a macro problem. If our political leaders were doing a better job on economic policy, a few show businesses would not have to hire immigrant labor to be able to provide essential services to their customers. And we just heard a soundbite that you had from President Trump. Right now, we're Trump's narrative with the borough of Charleroi.
Are you okay with that? Is he accurate?
He's absolutely accurate.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. We need to hear more from people like you guys who are proud of your community. I can't imagine, Mayor, and you're the main person here in this. Suddenly, people just showing up like this in a small town like this, given already stretched budgets, etc. I think you guys are handling this remarkably well. In fact, Mayor, Larry told me, "Hey, Dom, I want to make sure that we say the upside of some Haitian people. There's good people here too. We're not besmirching people." Somehow or another, that's not getting out there. These towns are being made the bad guys in this because of a policy that directly affects you and your way of life, Mayor.
Right. Yes, sir.
Well, Mayor, anytime. And Larry, thank you today. And thanks for, were you really going to put Creole on stop signs, though?
Well, you know what? That's the second most predominant language that's in the borough of Charleroi, and we have to put safety first and try to eliminate any automobile accidents. And if that's going to help save lives out there, yes, we're going to put that on stop signs and yield signs and any other traffic signs.
All right, Larry and Mayor, please, Larry, you're our point person here. Stay in touch as this develops. Very glad to have you on. Thank you very much, and just honored to have you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. I mean, listen to these guys, particularly the mayor, Dan. Larry's a little bit more provocative, I guess. But listen to the mayor. Listen to these people. And these small towns, you heard what he said. There was no notice, say, 2,000 Haitians are going to be arriving tomorrow. So, you know what? There's an opportunity. That's why do another debate. Whatever Trump wants to say around the eating of animals, and just say it's alleged, and there were reports in Springfield, but then pivot toward this. Be the voice. Do another debate. Hammer this. These people are being barraged with this because of the feelings of people like Sonny Hostin, Kamala Harris, the Biden administration, progressives. Oh, these poor people. Do you want to do this this has been the problem forever?
I don't know why Trump's not. This is fascinating to me that if you look over in the UK, it's being so suppressed here in the US, what's happening with their immigration situation.
Yeah.
Why not say, do we really want to have the kind of situation that's playing out in the UK here in the United States? Because this is our opportunity to get ahead of that and not let that happen here on our soil.
And I'll answer that, Dana, and I'll take calls on this. I know some people, they didn't say it to me last night. They're going to say, oh, that's just caving into the left. Dump this Laura Lomer. Lose her name. Lose her phone number. We've had her on. Don't have her anywhere near you. She's the one planning. She's around them all the time. You don't get to, the problem with this is in the debate, to your point, you don't get to say wild stuff and win on this. You got to drill down like we did. You and Henry did yeoman's work, just trying. They're not even listed, this town, the town council, et cetera. So when we told listeners day after day, we're trying to get them on Aurora, they're in the tank. They don't want to say anything. They're pretending it didn't happen. Springfield, I think the mayor and city manager are in the tank. They want to pretend it didn't happen, but the people are there. What's the other one? I thought this one I told you with the orphanage. The point is, Trump has to hone his game here and speak for these people and make the point, the contrast. It brings them all in. All the progressive idealists, do they want to have to do with this? If that's the case, why are the Haitians not in Beverly Hills? Take all the fancy neighborhoods with progressives, Doylestown, bring them there. All right, let's go to Parker in Philadelphia on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Parker, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing, Dom?
Good.
Okay, we can start off with, like, they had a bill for the immigration, and they shot it down for political reasons. That's number one.
Well, it's not. It's not number one. Let's go through that. There's a couple parts to that. One, that bill was ineffective. If we want to keep people out of this country that shouldn't be here, why didn't we just do what was done during the Trump years, which you have to stay in Mexico? You don't get to come here and then come into the country, and then we have to fine you. Why not just do that?
Okay, now that's what you're saying. Now, this is the real reason why it was low when Trump was the president. It wasn't inviting. When they saw Obama as president, they looked at it like, wow, finally the United States became a non-racist country. So they felt as though that was an invitation for them to come when they saw a minority as president of the United States.
Well, wait a minute. Why do we want them to come? Why do we want anybody to come illegally?
No. Well, we're talking about legally. We're talking about legally, right? We're talking about legally.
Well, wait a minute, Parker. Even in the Trump years, to your point, or any president, we have tens of millions of people worldwide every year who want to come to the United States, despite who the president is.
Right.
That can do it legally.
No. But let me say this. You talk about low-educated people, right? The ones that's low-educated people, more lower than the ones here in America, are the ones that are outside America. So if you tell them that this is the place to come to, they're going to come. They're not going to be looking at the news and wondering out that they're not welcome, they're not wanted. They're just going to come. See, they don't know that nobody don't like them. They go by images. They see a black president, oh, my God, the world changed. Then they see a president that talks about them like dogs, rapists, and killers. Of course they're not going to come as much. That's what that's about.
Well, that's an unusual sentiment. You don't think it's our policy of trying to, they came to the border and they weren't allowed in. And as far as the border bill, Parker, a couple things on that. One, it's flawed. No, we don't like the policy on it.
Of course.
And two,
it's got to be flawed.
Two, why would we allow Democrats for 3.5 years to have an open border and then suddenly bail them out before the election? Why would we do that?
Are we bailing out the Democrats or are we bailing out the United States?
No,
we're bailing out these places you're talking about.
We're bailing out the Democrats. Thank you. Let me make that point that politicians can't say. Here's the point. These Republican dummies like the Langford guy, how dare they? At the 11th, oh, Dom, don't you want to really stop them? No. We've lived with it long enough. Let's let it go through the election. In other words, Democrats and the media are saying, well, they want to stop at the border. They didn't for 3.5 years. They've gotten what they want. Now they have to pay the price. And this is like people at dinner saying, whoa, I may have eaten, but I'm not going to pay the price now. And some Republican dummy yells, I'll pay for you. He jumps over here. Langford jumps up here, and I'll put a big tip down. That stupid idiot from Oklahoma. Pretend like you're talking. I'll say what they can't say. Pretend like we're talking border bills. I'll get back to you, Chuck. I got to look at paragraph C, section whatever. What a bunch of dummies. Of course Trump was doing it partially politically. Of course he should. We want to win. Oh, what about the United States? Well, winning is good for the United States. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was actually prepared after that call to ask you if you were okay. Because there was no buddy or friend.
Oh, okay. No, because
and then you just got very animated.
Well, it's because Parker wasn't being a bad. You know what I mean? He wasn't getting all.
Wasn't, no,
if the caller is even though I think his argument wasn't good, if they're being fair and they're trying to legitimately make it, I'm not going to call him buddy. When you hear buddy, you know
that's a problem.
He was a nice guy. Yeah. So Obama was inviting that. That's why they were coming. Was Biden inviting? Suddenly said, "Oh, Biden's president. We got to."
Someone just called in and said it was your fault and hung up. So.
Oh, okay.
What's his fault? Everything's your fault, Doug.
All right, 855-839-12. I do have a tendency to think I have more power than I do. Like when they were taking down the sign for Wild Bill Guinier to park in front of his house, and I said, "Put down that screwdriver, whatever you're using."
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Make me." It felt good to get him to say that. Like, I'm actually going to.
I don't want to blow any smoke, but I mean, you talk about Charleroi and then Trump and Tucson drop.
There we go. You know? That's right. Yeah, we have to. That's right. Yeah, Trump said it. Trump's just got to button up. O'Reilly says he can't do it. Can he? Maybe that's the question. Do another debate. Can Trump button it up? Because it's a win. People are making this like, oh, you can't win. They're going to ambush you.
Hey, Dom.
Yes.
Are these the protesters? Parker calling in, and then you get another call that says it's all your fault. Are they actually following through? Earlier in the show, we played you talking with the protesters saying, give us a call.
I got to say, when the protesters were talking about how much are we paid in rubles, I loved it. I felt like saying, come on in. It's on us. Let us buy you a drink. Come on in and entertain. The mob would have gotten them, though. The Russian talk last night was really good. Here's a tip to the protesters. Get some Russian hats. Dress up in that the next time. Make your point. All right, if we vote, we win. 855-839-1210. You get on board. Give me your reaction to Parker and also Charleroi. And let me take just a quick poll here before we take any more calls. Henry, do you carry any cash?
Yeah, I always carry
cash.
Good.
Get
him out of here.
I don't use it.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I carry it, but I'm always a credit guy.
You never know who you have to bribe
20 in there
or
for
whatever might come up. Yeah. Greg Stocker last night goes, yeah, well, I agree with Dan. I don't carry any cash, too. All right, Wawa was in the news.
Get him out.
I didn't have a chance yesterday. Yeah. DJ Luke, no cash. My God. How do you get by if you don't have cash?
It's inconvenient. People don't know how to count anymore.
So, Dan, you have some cash, so come on. You're not a completely non-cash.
Where's my wallet? Oh, here it is.
There you go.
That's not a good sign, right?
Well, you don't have your wallet on you? What the heck's up with that?
I take it out. I have a look at it. It's like from Seinfeld.
It's not that big.
Yeah.
It's my wallet. I feel it every second. If the wallet's not there,
you got a big one too. You got a Costanza wallet.
Yeah, if the wallet is not there for
you want to see a Costanza wallet? I could take mine out.
What do you have in there?
Oh, whip it out, Henry.
Yeah, let's see.
Give me a second.
See, he doesn't have it on him either. He's got to put it away.
He's got to put it away.
I do have cash. I have $48 on me, Dom.
That's pretty big. Henry's is a bigger wallet. He's got the biggest wallet.
I have too many gift cards in here and stuff. Like I get a gift card and I just keep it in there. Like, oh yeah. I always think like, oh, maybe I'll end up at that store.
I might stop by Dick's on the way home.
No, you know what? I admire that. I would carry it too. All right, so I'll tell you the Wawa cash story. Give me a reaction. Side question 2 in play on Talk Radio 1210.
Bob's Little Sports Shop, Delsey Drive in Glassboro, is your one-stop shop for firearms and firearm safety. Bob's now offers an expanded selection and classroom area, NRA-certified instructors for all your firearm education. Bob's also has your New Jersey carry permit qualifications and an indoor pistol range open daily.
As they wrote our founding documents, our founders prayed each day that God would guide them as they wrote and guide them on their way. They knew that all our liberties were a gift from God above, and that we all must work to keep this land we love. We call this land America, the land of the free. To keep this the greatest land, it's up to you and me. Our freedom is a constant fight. We all must do our part. To stand and fight for all our rights is where we all must start.
Remember Bob's Little Sports Shop for firearms and firearm safety. Call 856-881-7575 or bobslittlesportshop.com. Paid for by Bob's Little Sports Shop, Glassboro, New Jersey.
Crash Proof Retirement records all financial meetings. All promises made in recorded financial meetings become legally binding between Crash Proof Retirement and the investing client. Crash Proof Retirement provides all of their clients with a certificate of authenticity, further documenting that recording financial meetings brings fiduciary responsibility to the highest level.
Jack Gunning from Blue Bell, Pennsylvania. I don't know whether anybody can offer you the security that Crash Proof Retirement does. I have this certificate that tells me they're a fiduciary. Everything is recorded and they have your best interest at heart. That certificate is 100% documentation that you know what they're saying is 100% correct. Other companies don't have this guarantee. This certificate means an awful lot for me, and it should mean an awful lot for you.
Certify your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn on Tuesday, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
The sensational Sarah McLachlan, live in Atlantic City, celebrating 30 years of fumbling towards ecstasy, performing the album in its entirety, plus her greatest hits, for one incredible night with special guest Tiny Habits, live at Borgata Hotel Casino and Spa, Friday, October 25th. Get tickets now at theborgata.com.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having two fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do-it-inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
You got a skull for your brain, a plastic sleeve for your comb, and a wallet for your money.
Look at this thing. It's huge. You got more cow here than here.
All right, a couple of things. One, the cash thing. So Henry, thank God, comes to save the day. I just don't understand. I could no more go outside the house, and I can't think of anything, Dan, without at least $20 to $40 on at any second. I mean, it would just feel, what am I doing?
Why, though? Are you buying tomatoes on the side of the road from a farm stand?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Or you show up at a Wawa, and the other day,
those watermelons look good. I mean,
up to 100 Wawas were not accepting right before September 12th, 10 a.m. You couldn't pay for anything unless you had cash. 100-plus stations had no internet credit card ability, cash only. Just an example. It happens all the time. You don't find it comforting to have cash? Are you afraid somebody's going to steal it?
I have a wife for that.
Oh, okay.
She always has cash on her, I'll be quite honest.
Oh, there we go, right?
I thought you said she was stealing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
no.
Yeah.
Not if anything.
All right, so that's one. The other thing is last night, watching the quarterback of the Dolphins, Tua, crash into a guy. What are the odds? And it's a guy who had COVID vaccine, you may remember, and just suddenly on a slight tackle collapsed and almost died from the Bills. And this is his, at least, I bet it's a lot more, third concussion in the last 2 years. Could be concussion prone. There are guys. And you watch this and you were talking with your friends, and I've made my now, first of all, if they say he's medically cleared at some point, oh my God, that's not a doctor you want to go to. This guy shouldn't be medically cleared. But the other side of me says, hey, if he wants to play, who am I to stand in his way? The only way I make my peace with this, I know how dangerous this is. I know about CTE. It's not just concussions. It's mini concussions, if you will. But these guys know this now. If they want to do it. Is he doing
it for the money? Is he trying to prove, like...
Henry
told me about a clause that's in the contract. Was that you that told me about that? About an injury if he remains healthy or if he's...
It wasn't me, no.
No, if he's medically cleared and he doesn't play, he loses the money. If he's not medically cleared, he gets the money.
And I was watching last night, Dom, and I've been someone that's kind of been against those that speak out against football and all, because I'm a big fan of it, to be quite honest. But last night I'm watching it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, there's a play, and I'm watching too. I just got back from the Trump Jr. event. And Tua drops back into the pocket, and you're taught as a quarterback to step into the pressure if you're about to be sacked and don't throw the ball away because there's the potential for it to go very badly. And what happens is he kind of scrambles away because it's weird because he backpedals short, scrambles away, and you see him kind of float one to the sideline. It's picked off, pick 6. I text my friends and I say, this guy's playing scared. It's clear to me that he has in him at somewhere that, and I think he recognized that at the interception. The guy next drive takes off and dives head forward into the opposing team. And I think he did it because he thought to himself, after that interception, I was weak, and now I need to prove myself. That's not a good place for this guy to be. It's and where we're at now is the guy's not wearing a Guardian helmet. He wears a Vicus helmet, which is or Vicious. I don't know. It's VICIS. And the helmet that he wears is to protect from the impact to the ground and how he previously got the concussion. It doesn't protect when you go head first into somebody like that. So Tua, for yourself, man, you're one injury away from being permanently changed for life. And last night you saw a little bit of the fencing again. And it was pretty clear to anybody watching. You look on Twitter, that's a concussion. And
fourth one in 5 years, going back to Alabama days.
Alabama. It's fourth in 5 years, but you remember last year there was an incident with a potential concussion that they rushed him back to play so they wouldn't have to deal with all that. So there's questions as to whether or not the guy had more concussions than they're actually reporting. And I just think to myself, what's he trying to prove at this point?
Well, he wants to play football.
I know.
It's his livelihood.
I know, but I also think to myself, there's a lot, and I take it back to my original arguments of football. There's a lot. This is kind of a special case here, but there's a lot to this CTE stuff, I got to say.
Here's what's going to happen here. Here's the prediction. They are going to, the NFL, they want to force him to quit, keep the money somehow or another. I know the Dolphins might. You know why? Because this gets at the whole league. It's right in front of you what we're watching.
Nobody
I
wants
know
to see
Henry's getting it, but it's true, Henry, and no one's more competitive and loves sports. When you're watching this, we know a third of these guys is going to be brutal when they reach 45 to 50 years of age. Because of this, they have knowledge of it. Say a third or so. Jason Kelsey talks about it all the time. They want to live with it. That's why I'm kind of lukewarm on football. And that's why the NFL puts out the fraudulent kickoffs and all that stuff. They're trying to pretend that they're doing something about it. You can't do anything about it. They're too fast and too big at that speed. You're going to get this.
Well, it's like I said. I think they should go back to having the leather helmets.
Yeah.
Then no one will lead with their head.
Right. Well, have you read enough on CTE, though, the thousands of little mini things?
And because
I don't know how
they
you
always
can avoid
talk about, like, every play on the line is like getting in a mini car crash.
That's
and, like,
exactly.
I had a concussion, like probably 10 years ago, and that wasn't from getting hit in the head. It was from I kind of hit the ground like Tua did.
Right.
And it just kind of went up my spinal cord and just like I was like, oh.
Well, that's one thing, and that's frightening. Yeah. But it's the mini things because you don't recognize them. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, if you watched this last night, be honest. Football is addictive to America, but it's just clear and present. Is the NFL going to try to get this guy to quit because of how bad this looks? Dan, you mentioned the fencing thing. When a guy goes like that with his arm, people see it on TV.
Yeah.
They turn away because they're thinking, "Oh my God, it's sickening."
It's sickening. I just want to interrupt here and say, Suze Loves Jeffy over on YouTube says, "Is this the guy from the Dolphins?" Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa is who we're talking about.
Exactly.
All
right,
I can't say his last name. That's why I haven't tried. What is it, Henry?
Tagovailoa.
All right.
Tagovailoa.
All right, and hit us on the cash thing. You heard the people from this small town in Pennsylvania, growing number of them. I hope the Trump people are trying to organize them. I say, do a town hall in one of these towns then. Don't do it in Springfield, Ohio. Do it here. Because that way you get rid of the animal stuff and all. And the media are showing what rats they are. All they're concerned with is not addressing these people, because they hate these people by and large. The elites hate them. And Taylor Swift, if she just said some little dopey thing about Kamala Harris, but the line that got me was, I want calm, not chaos. Think of the chaos. She's unaware of this. She's doing this. Variety shamed her. They were on her. I think she saw an opportunity. It looks like Kamala Harris is going to do well after the debate and pounced. 855-839-1210. What do you say to these people, all right, that are getting the brunt of these policies? Maybe in the Delaware Valley we're seeing more of it. All right, 855-839-1210. Don't forget, get in on the side question. We got that going on. We have a lot more to play you to of Don Trump Jr. last night. It was fascinating backstage. If you were there, hope you enjoyed it. We shouted out to Linda Kearns, who'll be on the show today. And Dan's suit was another of the top 10 highlights. I'm not sure. Rose says it's number 5.
That's very nice.
I thought it was number 10, but maybe 5. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's talk FanDuel for a moment. Well, the NFL and FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, America's #1 sportsbook, is continuing its special offer to keep us watching more. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5, get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you're able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. All you have to do, just visit FanDuel.com/DOM, D-O-M, to download America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will automatically be charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey, a familiar name, but ask yourself, what's he done for you and your family? In his 18th year in Washington, what's Bob Casey got to show for it? He made sure COVID relief checks could go to convicted felons. You heard that right. Bob Casey made sure COVID checks went to convicted felons. When reasonable people tried to stop murderers and rapists from getting checks, Casey voted no. Even the Boston Marathon bomber ended up with a big fat check. Casey voted the party line instead of using some common sense. And with families struggling to pay the bills, Casey had this to say about throwing around their tax dollars.
Go big or go home.
Bob Casey went big. He botched it. And it's time for him to finally go home. Bob Casey is wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Chase wants everyone to be able to have a place of their own. That's why we offer mortgages that help you purchase your new home with down payments as low as 3%. To find out more about our low down payment options and other ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality, visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. Loan amount, loan value, and loan product type limits apply. Geographic restrictions may apply for jumbo loans. Products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Other limitations and restrictions apply. Home lending products provided by JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Gerhardt's Appliances has what you need to be tailgate ready this season for the Birds and the Fightin's Pennant Drive. Whether it's the in-home appliances needed to prepare your famous Kelly green pepper casserole before pregame, or the barbecue grills you'll need to fire up the last of your sausage links in the parking lot before kickoff or first pitch, Gerhardt's has you covered with the best game day deals on appliances, helping Philly sports fans get the season cooking since 1945. Visit Gerhardt'sAppliance.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The warm and dry stretch of weather will continue through the weekend. Today, a mixture of sunshine and clouds, high temperature above average at 84. Tonight, some fog possible overnight, low 65 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. Warmer on Saturday with a mix of sun and clouds with a high 87.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom Giordano program. Side question today, Friday the 13th, National Superstition Day. The polling that we see so far post-debate pretty much is at least what I expected, even Trafalgar. They have no major leap for Kamala Harris, and most of the polls don't. They have a slight uptick. But you got to realize what this did is it took away a big opportunity, and she was on the ropes. She was drip, 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 inch by inch in the swing states particularly. Trump was moving away, not in any one just giant leap, but slowly but surely. And it kind of derailed it. That's one of the reasons I think a third debate. I think Christie's right. He's telling her, don't do a third debate. I'm saying Trump should do that. And again, we talked about strategy with O'Reilly yesterday, how to go at the media. If they start the fact checking, if they start not having parity in asking both parties difficult questions. Trump can do that. He didn't do it in the last debate. All right, that opportunity's gone. Do another debate. If not, the fear is she is just going to go off the grids, except for the National Black Journalist, stuff like that, and you're not really going to see any challenge. All right, Robert in Bensalem is next on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Hi, Dom, Dan. It's good to talk to you guys.
Same here.
Today. I was listening to the caller Parker, and it really seems like he has kind of the convenient worldview and memory. He said that illegal immigration went down because they didn't want to come in with a racist president. Did he forget the caravans that came crashing into our border with hundreds of thousands of people the first 2 years Trump was in office? Did he forget that he effectively dealt with that by doing everything he could with Remain in Mexico, Title 42, and he had it under control, and we were building the wall? Where does he get his information that says that people stopped coming when Trump was president? They started coming when he was president, prompted by people that wanted to destabilize his administration, in my view. Like the George Soros.
Well, and also Obama, as bad as it was, never had the sort of thing that we saw with Biden. Biden went way beyond anything we saw with Obama.
Yeah, Obama was catch and release, and Biden was don't bother catching, just release. Yes. But they sent Kamala down to Nicaragua, Honduras, and Guatemala. As soon as she became drug czar, and gave them a bunch of money. And it wasn't for economic development. It was to streamline them sending these people up here, man. We paid for this from the beginning. We've never been so pimped in our life, Dom. That's just my opinion.
I hear you. What's your side today? Yes.
I'm going to go with the baseball players never stepping on the baseball line chalk when they come on and off the field. That's been there for, I guess, about 80 years now. And it still goes on today. Kids today in Little League, a lot of them don't step on the chalk line. It's just something.
I've seen it. You know what I don't like, though, and that one of the Phillies relief pitchers does this, Robert. It's one thing not to kind of step on it, to jump over it. Something about that. I just can't take it.
Didn't Cliff Lee do that? Didn't he kind of jump over it when he was coming off the field one time?
Not a big Cliff Lee fan. It's an interview story in the locker room there. Man, you try getting blood out of a stone with that guy. We were covering the Phillies. Yeah. We're in the locker room, and you have guys in front of women reporters, Robert. I'm not making this up. A couple of them just drop their drawers and everything else, just waddling around the locker room. There's something about that. Look, I wasn't going to pretend like I was like, what the hell?
Well, But the one thing about Cliff Lee is nobody could punt a wad of bubble gum further than he could. Every time he came off, he used to drop it out of his mouth and punt it up the baseline.
That's true.
But, I appreciate the time. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right?
Other from baseball, Dom.
Dan, I wish you were around during that. You know, they had a breakfast table in Clearwater, and the whole media has to wait until Joe Blanton was finished his cereal and puts down the spoon. Then you can move in to ask questions. Look, covering politicians, as bad as it is much easier than covering athletes. Yeah. Oh, my God. I'd go nuts.
So the rally cap we can take off, too. Great baseball superstition. But the one compulsion that I know gets under your skin, the fixing of the gloves before every swing,
you know who
right?
started it, right?
Who's that?
Garcia Parra. It was amazing. Yeah. He was a good player, very good player.
Do you know about this yet, Henry?
I know what he's talking about. I do find it a bit annoying at times, but I understand. Look good, feel good, play good. You gotta do your thing.
No, but it's every second, every pitch. And then there was another guy. He played with the Cardinals or Reds that had to go up and down 3 times like this with his helmet. If you Google, you see what I mean. Then you have to grab your crotch. That one I can understand.
Yeah,
you got to have time to do that.
Yeah,
They have basically forced these players though into moving it along, which is a good thing.
So, and we all know of Jason Giambi's superstition.
Oh, yeah, the thong. Yeah, if you get a hit, or if you don't get a hit, you got to wear. I think he wanted to wear a thong.
How about Moises Allou's?
I forget his.
It's look it up. I don't want to reveal it.
Oh, okay. Well, all I know about Alou is he didn't catch the pop-up. The Cubs would have gotten into the World Series, and Bartman caught it and reached over. Oh, man.
Yeah, let's just say he thought a specific type of fluid would make his hands tougher, so he would.
Oh, boy. Well, okay, yes. All right. Well, anything to hit better. Phillies fans would be okay with that. The Mets in town tonight, New Yorkers. We haven't done New York in a while, maybe on Monday, if the Mets do well, and we're feeling that, the obnoxiousness. Is there a Dan time today?
I didn't have one.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we got a lot of callers. And
the Emmys are coming up. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, we do have a lot of callers. Okay. Let's get those callers.
Linda Kearns, too, coming up. We gave her a shout-out last night. We have some more sound from Don Trump Jr., including, got to play this in the 2 o'clock hour. I asked him a lot about the shooting of President Trump. He spoke up for the average Secret Service person, but believes, how did that guy get on the roof? Wait until you hear what he likens it to. And he says how bad of a shot this guy must have been. Thank God. 855-839-1210. Hey, it's important to make sure our families have the essentials, food, shelter, and, of course, pure, clean drinking water. A lot of news about drinking water these days. Just do what I did and count on Martin Water Conditioning to secure your family's drinking water. The Connecticut system removes all the impurities from your water. What comes out of that tap? Crystal clear, all natural water. Not only is it the best tasting water ever, it provides peace of mind knowing that your family's water is pure and clean. The Martin Water family, conditioning family, is passionate about water. They'll put their 46 years of experience to work for you. Customer service, attention to detail, just fantastic. They test your water, and then they recommend solutions. And they're so proud to show you what they're going to do. Our guy, Dwayne, has been tremendous when we've had him out. So contact Martin Water Conditioning. They'll take great care of you. Click on martinwater.com or 800-887-7555. 800-887-7555. Tell him Dom G sent you.
High school football is back. High school football is back. And so is the Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Join Daryl Dobis, James Bailey, and Matt Dents. Friday nights 10 till midnight. For a rundown of all the big high school games in the region and expert analysis. The Friday Night High School Football Scoreboard Show. Friday night at 10. Only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire-roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
The following is a paid commercial message.
message.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding. Or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time. And now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
Okay, it is Dom time at 855-839-1210. By the way, I think backstage, because we had so many other things to talk about, but somehow or another, Dan, we're standing there. I think it was Dawn. It was Nick. Greg may have been there. You were shuttling in some wine. And somebody mentioned Project 25. And we let Don and his advisor be a little bit away from us. That's when he really perked up and in great detail talked about nothing to do with it. Trump just talking about that. What happened here is the Heritage Foundation went nuts. I mean, what bad strategy putting down a lot of stuff I agree with, but 940 pages of stuff. And that's all that we're hearing. Oh, my God, this is the agenda they're going to put in. You know and I know Trump hasn't read Project 2025. No way. What I thought it was originally with the Heritage Foundation was more how to place people in government that are going to facilitate the Trump agenda rather than those that are slowing it down or trying to stop it, the deep state. I think the Heritage Foundation just started puffing themselves up. They went wild with this, and now they've given Democrats, because of the media, a cudgel to continue to say this is what they're going to do to you. All right? You think Trump's going to be watching your menstrual cycle, as they pretty much saying, we're going to be watching to see pregnancy and all this? Oh, my God. So they're a think tank. They didn't think well enough. It's done, and that's why he's addressing it today at a golf course in California. Go figure. All right, big 2 o'clock hour to close out the week. We have some more sound from last night. If you were there, we'd love to hear from you. Linda Kearns will join us. I gave her a shout-out and told Don Trump about her. Don Trump Jr.
Now or on the flip side?
Yeah, let's play it now.
Here tonight, we have Linda Kearns and another colleague who are working with the Trump organization, the Trump campaign, as our keeper of integrity. And I've said, It's on them.
Yep.
That job. It's a big job.
Where's Linda?
Where's Linda tonight? Stand up there, Linda Kearns.
Did she leave already?
Yeah.
Was I boring you, Linda?
No, I don't think so.
I can't see into the ground. There she is. Okay.
All right.
I thought maybe I'm doing a lousy job. That Linda was like, forget this guy, out of here.
No, we have her on a lot. And Don, I am thrilled to tell you that the things that we see that have happened this time around versus 2020 in Pennsylvania, we're in a lot better hands. But you're the guy really plugged in, after all, with the president. Give us an idea what we're going to see, and I know it's fluid. Anything can happen here.
It's totally
What are we
fluid.
going to be doing over the next 50 days?
The biggest thing, get out, vote early, check your registration. I actually did my Triggered podcast last week. I did a whole show with Scott Pressler. Who's just, honestly, he's a workhorse. He's been out there like an animal, but you go through all the dates. And again, a lot of that will apply in the swing states. If you know other people in other swing states, obviously Pennsylvania's going to be a big one of those.
All right, so I agree with him on that. He didn't say mail-in balloting. I didn't want to egg it on, Dan. And when I make too big a point, the crowd might not be with me on that. Still not sure. But I told him, he asked me backstage. First thing he did, Dan, after he took the pictures, sat down, well, what do you think is going to happen in Pennsylvania? And I said, it depends on between now and then, but I would bet, based upon where we are versus 2020, that it is much better. I don't know how I can convince you of that if you don't want to be convinced. Sean Parnell, the mail-in ballot is going well. Linda Kearns, Scott Presser, we bring them to you. It doesn't mean it's a sure win. It doesn't mean Democrats might not try anything between now and then, including trying to threaten us. The Department of Justice now designating the Electoral College vote count as a special national security event at the level of the Super Bowl. Okay, knock yourself out if you want to do that. How about designating that in Philadelphia, we're not going to have people intimidated if they're a poll watcher that we're bringing in. So Linda wrote me a beautiful email for that shout out. She's next. And again, she said, every time we mention where to go to show up to monitor the election, we're inundated. So we're happy to continue to do that. And I met people last night telling me that they have signed up to do that. I also met a guy, Dan, I was going to bring you over, who told me he could throw a football 65 yards.
No.
Why can't I throw 40? All right. And
Is that a challenge? I think it's a challenge.
Yeah, I was ready to say, well, look, we're ready to go on here in 15 minutes. How about we go out in the parking lot and you show me it, the 65 yards. We'll mark it off. I mean, it's amazing what people remember and what they come up with here.
I want to give a quick shout-out, too. I mean, it was amazing seeing Joe Vexen, who's on hold.
Yes.
We'll get to him at some point here. But Blazing Jesse made an appearance.
I didn't meet him.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
he was
did
one
I?
At the end, he had his mom there.
That's him.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed it.
He said he's Blazing Jesse, and his mom doesn't imbibe. That's how he kept introducing his mom.
But did he look like he sounds on the air? He sounds much different.
No, I think he looked, yeah.
No, I had a much different perception.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, maybe you're better. You know, in the sea of people, all kinds of things going on. You forget a little bit. Yeah, Joe Vexen will be on in the 2 o'clock hour. What an appearance. And Roe there last night. As soon as they see her, it's a big trail. She doesn't believe it, but that's the club of talk radio.
Don, the hair is fine. The hair.
All right, Linda Kearns is next. Dom's Money Melody, Joe Vexen in the On Deck Circle, and your calls on Talk Radio 1210.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
Businesses to watch. Thinking Chevrolet? Think Armin Chevrolet. Looking for the best compact SUV in the market? Armin has the stylish Chevrolet Trax with standard Chevy Safety Assist in stock and available for immediate delivery. Purchase a brand new value pack 2025 Chevrolet Trax LS for Armin's amazing price of only $20,995. That's $20,995. Businesses to watch. Thinking Chevrolet? Think Armin Chevrolet. Prefer to lease? Lease a new 2025 Trax LS from Armin for only $199 per month for 24 months with 10,000 miles per year. That's only $199 per month. Thinking Chevrolet? Think Armin Chevrolet. Closer than you think in Ardmore. Or shop 24/7 at arminchevy.com. That's arminchevy.com. Tax and tax additional. MSRP $21,495. Includes $500 healthcare professional or first responder rebate. Lease down payment of $39.95 and first payment due at signing requires current lease and household and Nature Bank approval.
Roofing or siding issues? Don't wait. Call Emmons Roofing and Siding.
We provide comprehensive roofing and siding services with a focus on quality and customer satisfaction. And our warranties ensure peace of mind for you and your family.
Protect your home with the best warranties available in the industry.
Call Emmons at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Whenever we talk with someone at these great events, I like to do a little lightning round. You've hit a few, but just your impressions. Nancy Pelosi.
I think there's a priest in the front row. We need an exorcism. That may be too much for you, Father. I don't know. I don't know if I'd subject you to that, but.
All right, there was a priest. There were probably doctors there in some row, and there was Linda Kearns last night that we did follow through and give a shout-out to. She's with us here. I don't see her here, Dan. You're bringing her up. She's at an undisclosed location, I guess, right?
She's hidden behind the scenes.
Yeah,
She's with
exactly. And she wrote me just a really nice email today. It's about the work. And it's about every time that we have her on talking about that, more people sign up. They're inspired to do that, to get us over the finish line, and also to restore confidence. And meanwhile, as the other side destroys confidence by one annex after another out in Montgomery County, more drop boxes, more satellite offices. That Montgomery County commissioner guy, God, the nerve of him. But Linda joins us here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Linda, welcome back.
Dom, I got to tell you, you are in trouble with me. You're on my bad list.
Oh, why is that?
Because last night you were on stage for, an hour and 15 minutes? How long was that? With the president's son.
Right.
You had 500 captive people, and not once did you tell everyone to sign up for protectthevote.com. I appreciated the shout out, but it's not about Linda Kearns. It is about protectthevote.com. So afterwards, I had to run around to all those people and say, please sign up, please sign up. So, Dom, you're on my list now. I got to tell you.
All right. We'll take that under advisement. I'm glad, though, we made him aware of that and backstage told him about it, too, Linda. He's aware of Presler. We're trying to get you in that mix, too, because every time you do this, we do get more people that are doing it for two reasons. One, to ensure the integrity of the vote, and two, to feel that they did their part in this. What's the latest on any front now, in your view? You have a big argument coming up, right? I know you've been prepping for it.
Wait, so are you talking about the ongoing litigation over on the western side of the state, all the ballot? The mail ballot cases? Yeah. They're condensed. We actually have a firm doing that. So,
okay.
And they're absolutely fabulous, Jones Day. So they're absolutely fabulous, and they're handling that. So, I want the voters to be really confident about how many lawyers we have working on this. I know a lot of times people don't like lawyers, but I think in this instance, you want lawyers working on this. And President Trump just coming out with that no tax on overtime. I mean, that's really going to help the people who need it most. The police officers, the people who get overtime who need it to meet the bills. So President Trump is really helping our effort by just coming up with just these great policies.
Well, wait a minute, too. You're exactly right. There are, just like tips was the other one, this gets into professions where overtime is almost mandatory. You said cops. That's definitely one. Whenever there's a situation, they are forced to work 12-hour shifts, stuff like that. In Larry Krasner, Philadelphia, it's overtime all the time. That could be substantial for cops and other people that somewhat have almost mandatory. You have a job where you got to do it.
Right, and with the Biden-Harris policies, people are just absolutely suffering. So President Trump is doing everything to help people with his proposed policies.
So, Linda, for the big day when it comes now, do you have a sense of the number of volunteers, of people, at least on paper, Protect the Vote, are going to show up and are going to be part of this?
Well, I'm on track to have poll watchers in all 1,703 polling places in Philadelphia, but I need more signups. I need people to sign up at protectthevote.com. And if you're a lawyer, if you sign up on that website, there's a way to check that you're a lawyer, so that goes right into my database, and we contact you immediately. And Dom, these appearances on your show, like I just had someone call me, one of your listeners, and he about a half hour ago, I guess he looked me up, and he called me because he was all concerned because his son unfortunately died 12 years ago, and he said, I keep receiving voter registration applications for him. And this is a question that I get a lot. And what I explained to him, and I want to explain to your listeners, is that under Pennsylvania law, any organization can send out a voter registration application. They can, or a mail ballot application. They can basically make it up as long as it conforms to the requirements in the statute. So that means like the pro-abortion people, the anti-abortion people, the Democrats, the Republicans, anyone, a candidate, anyone can send out these applications. So you tend to get a lot of them in the mail. And unfortunately, some of these groups are using old lists. So just because you get one of those applications does not mean that person is still on the voter roll or they're going to get a ballot. So once I talked to your listener, I think he felt a lot better about it. And that's what this effort is all about. We want to educate everyone because sometimes, these stories circulate on the internet and you just want to understand that no, sometimes they're not totally accurate and there are people watching this.
Yeah, and Linda, let's talk about this. One of my ongoing things that I talk about even when you're not on, I don't understand. This is not 2020. Some of this slice of listeners that are depressed, the sky is falling. In other words, we can never win buying into that. Why even try? It is so much better than the last time. We're aware of the major shenanigans. We have Sean Parnell heading up the mail-in ballot thing. we're aware of protectthevote.com. Presler out there, the registration things are all looking good. And from where I sit, despite Harris doing a little bit better of rousing people, say in Philadelphia, it doesn't seem to be enormous on their side of more people registering to vote. So don't get into this defeatism. The way out of it is to do something. One thing, tell other people, remind them how important this is, or sign up to Protect the Vote. I'm glad that you've asked me to do some Zoom calls with people that are going to be the workers, to have them fired up, to go out there on Election Day as if it is the biggest game of our life. So there's no reason for that. Do you have a sense of why that might be the case?
Well, Dom, I frankly, I don't want to hear from those people. Look, I live in Philadelphia. I vote in every election, and let's face it, there's not a lot of Republicans on that ballot in off-year elections. But I show up and vote. Why? Because I'm an American, I'm a citizen, I'm a patriot, and people died for that, and I want my voice heard. So you just can't say that your vote's not going to count, because the only way your vote's not going to count is if you do not cast it. That's the end of the story. And if you want to help President Trump get elected, you can go to protectthevote.com. You can make sure that you request your mail ballot and return it ahead of time. They should start going out next week. And the reason that helps President Trump is, well, number one, President Trump gets your vote. But number two, then you free up resources so that we as a campaign don't have to call you and text you. And so that there's more resources available to call or text what we call, the voters who, might not be that excited about it to get them out. So it is so important. So the people who say that, I think that they should just remember that people died for that right to vote, and to say that they're just not going to do it, that's just not a very patriotic thing to say.
All right, Dan is giving me the script every day. I should wake up. Linda Kern says protectthevote.com. All right.
We have protectthevote.com. We have TrumpFirst47.com, which is how you can sign up for both. That's our political arm. That's how you can help get out the vote. And then if you're wondering about your mail ballot, you can go to swampthevote.usa.com, which it kind of walks you through it, how to request your mail ballot. So we're giving you all the tools necessary. And I want to thank you for that awesome event last night. And I want an invitation to Don Jr.'s farm, where he said that you can practice your shooting. So I'll just wait. I'll wait. Hopefully you can arrange that in the next few days.
Linda Kearns, you're a pretty good shot.
Okay, I'll have to say this on the radio. But the last time I went to the shooting range, like all the people came around and they're like, "Well, how much experience do you have?" I said, "Well, really, not really much." But I was getting right on the bullseye. So I impressed everyone at the gun range.
Very nice. Well, we always want to hear that.
I have many talents, and just wait till I make the 12 to 3 shot. Wait till I make the 12 to 3 radio shot great again when I take over. I mean, there's just so much to look forward to.
Wow, my God, can't stop this.
So you're on her bad list. This is what happens, Dom.
We turn them loose. Right? Protectthevote.com. Thank you, Linda, very much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, Dan, we have the guy. Henry says allegedly. We'll see. We'll break this guy down. John in Bluebell claims he could throw the football 65 yards. All right, John, describe yourself. I'll know if it's you or not.
Well, I was wearing a golf shirt. A little bit taller than you. I was impressed. I thought you weren't going to be as tall as me, but you were.
That's very nice of you. Yeah, that's true, Dan. I remember that. Guy was slightly taller. I tried to stand up even taller. I got tired of it.
So, John, I was not on hand for this conversation, but was this said in a veiled threat of you want to have a match-off against Dom in a throwing contest or something?
Oh, it wouldn't be fair.
Wow. Wow, look at this.
I'm confident. I'm very confident. My son is 14 tomorrow. He can throw it 50 yards now. We go to a football field. We live near a football field.
Oh, my God.
And I can still throw it 55. So
were you a former quarterback? Like, why do you got such a good arm?
I was a quarterback in high school, but I was a javelin thrower.
There you go.
And actually, I was a track guy. I was a high jumper. I went to LaSalle University and did the decathlon and everything. So I was able to still throw the javelin in college. And I got up to about 198. I said 200, but I threw it.
John, I saw you. You look pretty good. I can't see 55 yards, though. Boy, that's still on the outer level. I can see 50, maybe.
No, I'm telling you, it's 55. and if I push it, if I throw it with a little arc, I'm throwing a bullet.
Oh my God. Well, John, that's not my area that I compete against people. But I would like to see who could throw the farthest among listeners at some point. You play basketball.
I do, but not much anymore because my knees kill me after I play.
Oh, well, Dan, sign him up. Sign him up to play me 101. There.
Let's just do like an Olympics between you and this guy.
I played on the practice team during the Lionel Simmons era. So.
Well, that's pretty good. I got cut during the number 2 in the country era. I don't know if that counts as more. They thought I shot too much. They had better. Come on, you never can shoot
You're
too
a ball
much.
hog.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not a ball hog. I'm releasing it. I'm going to fire away as soon as I get it. Well, John,
I hate to talk about myself too, but I won the dunk contest. All
right, so we got a dunk contest brewing.
Well,
I can't come close now. My knees are killing me.
Yeah, well, you know what, though? There's got to be some way we can get this football throw / other listener things in. Well, I'll take it under advisement, though, John. But it was great to meet you last night. I'm glad you came up and told me that.
Pleasure to meet you. And actually, I spoke with Linda Kern. She's a pleasure as well. I did go to her site last night, so I worked the polls out where I am the last 2 elections. So I think I might try to be a poll watcher instead of actually sitting at the polls for 15 hours.
Good, John. Please do that and let us know. Thank you, though, John. Keep listening. We'll come up with something. Thank you, John. I can see this guy throwing 50, though. He looked the part. He looked like he could. Yeah, I could see that.
So you're not going to take the challenge?
The back away on basketball all the time. That's the one thing I'm not giving up on yet. I can see Henry might be somebody based upon that.
I'm the best shooter this side of the Schuylkill.
Well, I don't know.
All right, I think we have something.
I don't know which side we're on right now, but I'm the best shooter on that side.
So, Dom, you said with the free throws, you can make how many in a row? Was that you that said something like that?
Well, I did make 32 in a row once,
Yeah, you think
I put it on Facebook, and a guy writes, "Why were Dom's sons fouling him that much?" Who was just standing there shooting. It wasn't.
I mean, I kill all my friends in the game of 21 where, if you make a shot, you get to shoot 2 free throws.
Right.
I just rack them up at the line.
All right.
I rack them up the line. The game's over, 21-0.
All right. That may be Mulligan's on the horizon here or some other venue. We got to
have the best shot of anybody that used to rock a mullet. I'll give you that.
Okay, there you go.
Easy.
Used to, yes.
It's growing back.
All right.
I got to get a haircut.
Okay. So if you were there last night, we have some more sound we'll play you. Don Jr. coming up, talking about Secret Service. He vouched for them. Then he talked about what was it like this guy shooting his father and missing from that distance. I need to hear what he said. And I can tell you he wants more done on it. I'll play you Dick Blumenthal, who says they are trying to do that, of all people. But first, even before Joe of Exton, it is time for...
It's Dom's Money Melody.
So money gone. That is right. And, Dan, I think we're playing for the hit of last night, Letters to Trump. I never got a book until last night, and Don Jr.
Really?
was gracious to autograph it for me in a special way that I have at home now. And the size of the book, I didn't realize it was more than you need a big coffee table for this. And it's hilarious. Some of the people in there, we read Alec Baldwin last night, thanking Trump for comping him and how generous Trump was. It's Alec Baldwin. What a fraud. That's why Trump put these letters together. All right, we're playing for that. Dan, what's your backstory today?
Yeah, Dom, I thought maybe Friday the 13th, we're talking superstitions. Why not talk a horror movie today? And I thought I'd play a theme that's played throughout the movie, and I'm going to put it out there. This movie is not not known as one of those all-time greats like Halloween or Friday the 13th, but it really should be, because I was talking to Fred. I was talking to Henry.
I consider us friends.
Yes.
and he agrees that this is a really underrated movie, but a cult classic. And Dom, I'm going to give you a huge clue. This film is so well known in the horror community that it actually really it's almost a direct inspiration for the premiere episode of The Walking Dead. So Dom, I'm going to play back the theme of this movie. We want to know the name of the movie that this theme comes from. Take a listen. You gotta think this movie very similar to The Walking Dead. Fantastic movie. Maybe my all-time favorite horror movie. We're looking for the name of the film that this theme comes from, Dom, for that great Letters to Trump book.
All right, that's what we're playing for. Jump in at 855-839-1210. Get in right now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We'd like to thank everyone who has generously donated to this year's Catholic Charities Appeal. Because of your support, we've already raised over 50% of our goal, but we haven't crossed the finish line yet. Did you know that 1 in 5 people in our community rely on the appeal for vital assistance and hope? Your donation makes a real difference, providing food, shelter, education, and so much more. We can finish strong. Visit CatholicCharitiesAppeal.org to give today. Every gift brings us closer to our goal and closer to changing lives. Thank you.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do-It Inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees, but in New Jersey, this C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
40 days to lose up to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet. It only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds. NJ Diet uses your hair, saliva, and blood work to personalize supplements that will target your hormonal imbalances so you can lose that weight. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep it off. Call Dr. T, 855-5-NJ-DIET, or go to njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds, 40 days up to 40 pounds, NJ Diet.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Hey, Cherry Hill. We know your favorite station is WPHT. Tell your smart speaker, play 1210 WPHT.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
All right, it is Dom time. We are looking for the name of the movie for this theme song. Here's the clue. Okay, let's go to Steve in Langhorne.
There's 2 answers we'll accept here, by the way, Dom.
2 answers. Yes. Steve in Langhorne. Hey, Steve, what's the name of the film?
Rocky Horror Picture Show?
No, it's not.
No, that's that's a pretty big one. Mike in Philly. Mike, what's the name of the film?
Is it 28 Days Later?
Yes, it is. All right, that's one of the answers we'd accept. What's the other one, Dan?
28 Weeks Later, the follow-up film to 28 Days Later. The one of the early roles of Cillian Murphy, Dom, who later played, you can fill it in, Henry, Oppenheimer. Sorry, I kind of
He's J. Robert Oppenheimer in Oppenheimer.
Okay.
And he was also the Scarecrow in the Dark Knight trilogy. He's in Inception. Trying to think what else. He's in Peaky Blinders.
And the point
He's
is that
Thomas Shelby and Peaky Blinders, if anyone knows that show.
Not many times you have a horror movie with not many big names produce such a big name like Cillian Murphy. And why is that? Because the guy's a fantastic actor. The film, fantastic acting, tension throughout as you try to figure out what the heck is going on as this guy wakes up in the hospital and traverses his home. And it's a fantastic movie and very similar to what Rick suffers through in that first episode of The Walking Dead. So great job. Congratulations.
It should be noted, too, that 28 years later is in the works right now.
All righty. All right, congratulations, Mike. We'll have to decide the shipping of the book, I think. My God, the cost of that alone. It's huge. All right, the Letters to Trump is quite a hoot. You will be amazed what's in there if you missed last night. Okay. Don Trump Jr. last night, this will be cut 14. We got into, early on, I think, talking about the shooting of his dad, the emotional toll on the family, etc., how they didn't even bring up any of this in the debate. And then we started talking about the shooter. He talked, first of all, Secret Service protection he has, great guys, unbelievable. But he likened the shooter being able to do this and missing how easy of a shot this was to something else. Here's what he said.
I mean, it was a gross problem as it relates to the Secret Service. No one gets within 130 yards. My father's not a shooter. I was explaining to him. I'm like, that's like missing a 6-inch putt. No. That's why, honestly, whatever faith I had, whatever faith my father had or our family, and probably a lot of Americans, whatever it was, people were like, someone was looking out for him. Like,
Absolutely.
I've been to... I'd say, I've been to, let's call it, 1 billion rallies.
Well, the Trumps have to say 1 billion,
yeah,
of course.
About 1 billion.
Yeah.
Give or take. I've literally never even seen my father, point to a chart or a graph. I've never seen it happen, and it happened to be an immigration graph, ironically. But, to turn
beautiful
your head
immigration,
at that
beautiful
moment,
immigration graph.
But again, to the failures, they knew about a shooter with a potential shooter with a rangefinder. You don't bring a rangefinder to an event, right? Unless, right? Come on, this is common sense stuff. You don't have to be, law enforcement to understand this.
All right, now here is Dick Blumenthal, Da Nang Dick, the progressive senator from Connecticut. He's upset because the Secret Service types, it's even hard to remember when this happens because of how the glacial pace of this. Here's what Blumenthal said, I believe it yesterday, about what they're going to try to do. Democrat Senator Blumenthal, and the American people will be shocked. You're not, I'm not, though, of the delay by the Secret Service and other bureaucrats. Here's Blumenthal.
I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished, and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service in this assassination attempt on the former president. But I think they also ought to be appalled and astonished by the failure of the Department of Homeland Security to be more forthcoming, to be as candid and frank as it should be to them in terms of providing information. And we are going to absolutely insist on the truth and the whole truth in documents and testimony as members of the United States Senate, but also as citizens.
What did you learn new today when you said they're going to be appalled?
I'm not going to go into what we have learned in specifics. I'm giving you my reaction. And we will have a report very, very soon that I think will absolutely shock the American people, or it should, about the lapses and lags in the protection that was afforded that day and the breakdown in communication, failure, and responsibility.
Is that report coming today or tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
Is that report coming out tonight or tomorrow?
No.
All right. Again, I take Blumenthal on this one at his word here so far. The problem is the farther we get away from this, the harder it is to get people's attention on it. No mention during the debate, none of that at all. So what he's saying here, it's two things. One, how bad they were that day. Does that call into question that they were intentionally bad? Something was up. And two, how brutal it is. I mean, look, these people should not be able to lawyer up on this. Well, doesn't everybody have rights? You want to be in the Secret Service. You want to be in this situation. there's no way when we're trying to get to the bottom of this that you can run out the clock and lawyer up. And I want this before we get much into October, certainly, so that the American people are reminded of this, and they'll try to answer the question in their own mind, is Trump that big of a threat that there was intentionality in not having a lot of security here? Now, if they actually say, well, we see no way this guy could have gotten there without some kind of help or whatever, that'll be amazing to actually see. And Blumenthal, at least, is not covering this up. He's at least telling us how disturbing this is, that they're, at this point, dragging their feet and not answering. Put them in jail, every single one of them. They should have no right. You want to sign up for the Secret Service, this is part of the job. That we have to get to the bottom of this, up and down the line. It's not about firing them. It's about answering the question, how did this happen? How was it allowed to happen? That's what people need to know. And we have to bring prominence back to this. I think it was Donald Trump Jr., or Trump the other day said it in the debate. Yeah, maybe by making me out to be Hitler, that's one of the reasons you get shot at. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's go to Mike in Hamilton. Mike, you're on Talk Radio 1210. All right, Mike, you differ with me. Go ahead.
Well, I don't believe Blumenthal a little bit. He's a part of the swamp. He's a known liar. And I think the way what they're doing here is they're going to blame the agencies as a whole, not any people. Some people will resign. They'll keep their pensions. They'll never fire anybody. And they'll never look into what really happened
then, wait a minute.
And why the body was cremated.
Okay, why would he say anything at all? Why not just continue doing what they're doing, though? Why tell us about the foot dragging, et cetera? Why not just, we can't say anything about it if you're right, and we're moving forward?
It's part of the cover-up.
All right, Mike, we'll see. Look, I'm willing to grant with this, the problem is the foot dragging, the way the institution and bureaucrats do that. Okay? I know Blumenthal as much as anybody. So if you believe in the end what they're going to say is, what, nothing happened here, we need to do that. If that happens, then we'll say it. All right, phone lines are 855-839. My point is, this guy even on record saying this, you don't get more extreme on the other side than Blumenthal. Does that give you a sense that because these people are refusing to talk to Congress, you're going to see more in this report than we've seen up till now? All right, we'll see. Problem is, the longer this goes on, and then we have the House report, they're dragging their feet. This has to be up with a month or so left before the election to have a shot at it. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. How are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach those cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. It works. Their range of supplements is designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call them today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com. res-q.com. Remember to use that code and use the code DROP, D-R-O-P. You buy one, you get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Just use the code DROP, D-R-O-P, at res-q.com.
Weather sponsored by Robert Half.
The warm and dry stretch of weather will continue through the weekend. Today, a mixture of sunshine and clouds, high temperature above average at 84. Tonight, some fog possible overnight, low 65 for the city, cooler in the suburbs. Warmer on Saturday with a mix of sun and clouds with a high 87.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals utilize an award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey, a familiar name, but ask yourself, what's he done for you and your family? In his 18th year in Washington, what's Bob Casey got to show for it? He made sure COVID relief checks could go to convicted felons. You heard that right. Bob Casey made sure COVID checks went to convicted felons. When reasonable people tried to stop murderers and rapists from getting checks, Casey voted no. Even the Boston Marathon bomber ended up with a big fat check. Casey voted the party line instead of using some common sense. And with families struggling to pay the bills, Casey had this to say about throwing around their tax dollars.
Go big or go home.
Bob Casey went big. He botched it. And it's time for him to finally go home. Bob Casey is wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Chase believes that having a place of your very own should be accessible for everyone. That's why we're offering homebuyer grants of up to $7,500 in select areas. It's just one of the many ways Chase can make your home buying dreams a reality. Visit chase.com/homebuyer or your local Chase branch. The Chase Homebuyer Grant is available on primary residence purchases only, on select products and subject to eligibility. All home lending products are subject to credit and property approval. Program terms are subject to change without notice. Home lending products provided by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. When you've got kids going back to school, life can feel like it's always on the go, go, go. That's why Tasty Cake has go-to snacks for everyone in your family. Whether it's a fluffy crimpet with smooth icing, a creamy peanut butter candy cake, or a sweet cinnamony pecan swirl, Tasty Cake has something unique for everyone. When it's back to school, go for what they love, Tasty Cake. Except no substitutes.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. One little update. Looking at reports that ABC News may be suffering loss of ad revenue based upon the debate. Appears to be some of that's going on. We'll try to lock that down, but the Lindsey Davis, the colleague of David Muir, who was the biggest offender, gave an interview with the LA Times, and they went in chapter and verse talking about they weren't going to let Trump do what he did in the Biden debate, or they weren't going to act like the CNN people did, and they were going to pounce immediately. Again, would it have taken any brains on the part of ABC, these two, to at least jump in when Harris brought up Charlottesville? They weren't even going to do that. That's how far this went. That's how arrogant it is and how blatant. But it makes my case that it's very doable, particularly for a Trump, based on last debates he's done before, to take on the media. I don't know why he didn't do it that night. You could say 3-on-1. He's done it before. That's part of the deal. Look, the deal is this. if he didn't do the debate with Harris on ABC, she was going to continue to coast, which she's doing now. Do you want that? Are you confident you're going to get over the finish line without exposing to the American people exactly what she's about? I wouldn't take that bet. The upside, the polling indicates so far, no massive surge for Harris, and independents or undecided, even better, in the swing states, not getting enough from her on the economy, etc. So this is a setback, the debate, but not fatal, would be my judgment. Why do another one then? Again, you're making this like it's impossible to do the debate. A lot of people did see how biased this was. Can I guarantee that the next team, if it's CBS, for example, I would guarantee they're not going to be as blatant. It's not going to be like what ABC did. And Trump has the wherewithal to counter this. The upside is Harris will not do as well as the last time. It will be more difficult. And that debate will take away any residue from the previous debate. If you want to play scared and say you can't beat him at this, we're just going to have to figure out we're going to get across the finish line in some other way. Do that. I would advise against it. It is definitely doable. And Trump can in real time make that point. I came back. He can even reference the ABC. I hope tonight to get a fair shake. He can say things like that. He does all the time. If they want to overrule that, he can keep on saying them. And do a town hall in Springfield, Ohio, or in the town in Pennsylvania we had the guys on today. And get to the bottom of this. Use that as an example of what's going on with illegal immigration. Those are a couple of recommendations that are very doable. And dump this Lomer character. My God, what a self-destructive person, to put it mildly. All right, let's go to the one and only star last night, Joe of Exton. Hey, Joe, welcome in, and thanks for joining us last night.
Yes, hello, Dom, and good afternoon. Last evening, I had the distinct pleasure of meeting you, Ro, Dan, and Jim.
Well, thank you, Joe. It was
how was it, Joe? I mean, was it good for you?
Yeah.
I guess you said you had the pleasure.
Yeah,
so
right.
It's implied, huh?
Yes, and for the side question, my idea of superstition is in Trump's manner of dressing. He wears a red tie, white shirt, and blue suit. Red, white, and blue, colors of the American flag.
Very nice. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, Dan, it was one of the more remarkable, and you had a large hand in this, of Talk Radio, and Earl. To see Joe of Exton, Earl there, of course, Fisher-Pine, Leslie, and others. It is
the
exactly
moment between Leslie meeting Joe.
Yes.
It was such a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah,
and she was
exactly.
Leslie, he was royalty. He was royalty last night, Joe.
Leslie didn't bring a case of wine last night, though. I was a little bit disappointed with that. I thought that might happen. All right, we will have the lightning round next here, and we'll get a winner today. National Superstition Day, Friday the 13th. Hit us with that all-time superstition. Let me get Joe in Vineland, though, who was here last night. Hey, Joe, thank you for coming last night. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Dom, this is Father Joe.
Ah, Father in the front row with the Phillies hat on. Yeah, Father.
Yes,
yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time. I'm telling you, Donald Jr. was very informative. He was very entertaining.
Oh, to put it mildly.
Hey, I just want to play this back just so people have a reminder.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
This is a moment that he was acknowledged. Father was acknowledged.
Whenever we talk with someone at these great events, I like to do a little lightning round. You've hit a few, but just your impressions. Nancy Pelosi.
I think there's a priest in the front row. We need an exorcism.
Well, Father, do they perform? I asked every priest that. They perform exorcisms anymore. If we were in Italy, you could have done one, right?
Yeah, probably, yes. But we just got to keep praying. We just got to keep praying for Nancy and Joe Biden and those who have sort of abandoned their Catholic morals. We just got to pray for them, you know?
You put that beautifully and generously. Father, is there any superstition, that's our side question today, that you have?
Not that I have, but I'm always annoyed when people say, knock on wood, they can't find anything, they hit their head.
Nicely played. Thanks, Father Joe, in the front lines last night. All right, lightning round is next. Jump in there right now. Hey, I've told you for years about my friend, dentist and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, and the Bentz Dental Group. He's known for helping you overcome your fear and anxiety. His state-of-the-art facility makes dentistry as easy as can be. My recent experience is a great example. I had this permanent tooth put in. I've told this story, right? And usually, you got to go through all the sizing. It's too high and all. Not with this. The precision of the 3D printer, the staff, John, who makes your teeth along with that, is just remarkable. It's just one more evidence of how different it is with the Bentz Dental experience. Why not get the same great treatment that I get each and every time? Go to Bentz Dental Group, BENTZ dentalgroup.com, or call them for that appointment today, 610-272-6949. BentzDentalGroup.com. Tell them Dom G sent you, 610-272-6949.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save $1 or $2. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.
Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems.
Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. It's the story of Philadelphia sports put to music.
Oh, I thought it was awesome. It was funny and great band. His imitation of the Bee Gees.
The stylistics and stuff, I just love that.
Oh, it was great. This is the third time we've seen him. He's awesome.
I can relate to Joe Conklin. Great variety. There was something for everyone.
That's Conklin with City Rhythm at Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, Saturday, October 26th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Do-it inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees. But in New Jersey, this C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien High Efficiency Tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Free speech lives here with Rich Zioli weekday afternoons 3 till 7 on Odyssey's #1 talk station, 1210 WPHT.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, that's right. The lightning round sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. Enjoy back-to-school savings on a 36-month lease of an exciting C40, only $369 per month. Down payment, taxes, and registration fees due at inception. No taxes on the C40 in New Jersey. So visit Cherry Hill Volvo today. All right. Today we're playing for today's win, and then we'll put your name into the hat for the win of the week. That superstition that you may not follow necessarily, but why chance it? Earl in Tacony. Hello, Earl.
Hey, Dom. Great show last night.
Hey, thanks for driving Joe last night, too. Wonderful stuff. Really made the night pop.
Well, the only reason I did it was to, just fill his heart full of fear, and he was afraid to ever call it, so I can remain number one. But but the man's got to kind of steal, so it didn't work. But he'll keep calling in. Real quick, since it's Friday the 13th, because of triskaidekaphobia and fear of 13, I saw somewhere that if we followed a lunar cycle, and every month at 28 days, we'd have 364 days with one New Year. But the reason they don't do it is because, or they didn't do it in the old days, is because that would give us 13 months, and every 13th would be Friday the 13th. So we have a straight-up calendar because they were afraid of having 13 months and every month having a Friday the 13th.
That is a pretty good superstition. Once again, dazzling. Let's go to Gary in Newtown on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Gary, what's yours today?
Hey, Dom, it was really good to see you. I got to say, the quality of the book is as good as the quality of the glass that was handed out, too. It was really, really, really well done. My wife loves the book, by the way.
It is, isn't it making the point, the revenge point, but isn't it a lot of fun? I was reading Bob Hope this morning saying, thanks for the invite, Don. We weren't in town then, but we're coming back on this date. Could you show us your mansion? Oh, my God, Bob Hope.
And I will say I did love the feel of your suit, and Don Jr. was great, but the pinnacle of my night was actually having a conversation with your wife, Ro. That was my pinnacle.
She told me about it. She thought it was Gary of Newtown. I said he has multiple identities, though, so that's what the issue is.
You had a great suit on, though, Gary.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Thank you. I sported the beard. I will say, friends of mine said I could have passed as Don's brother. But anyway, mine is karma, and I'll never forget driving up on 295 from the Wildwoods about 35 years ago. Really young driver, and I was laughing at the guy who passed me, who got ticketed, and down the road. And as I'm laughing at him, there goes the state trooper coming across the thing to come get me with radar, because radar was fresh and new. And I'm like, really? I'm laughing at that guy, and now I got the ticket too.
That's a great one. Karma, Dan, is a superstition.
And
I mean,
especially
what comes
in the car, too. That's why people wave when they're let in, right? So they don't get in an accident later. Yeah.
All right, Dan, give us, let's get a winner quickly here, then put them in the hat for the grand winner. Yes.
Yeah, so, Dom, we got a great week of winners this week. Where's my screen that I just had?
Well, we didn't have a winner today. We need
that first,
yeah.
don't we? No jersey on the William Penn statue.
Right.
Stephen Norristown.
That was a good one.
Baseball not stepping on the line in the batter's box.
Robert Ben Salem.
Red, white, and blue, the outfit of Trump from Joe and Exton. Knock on wood when people hit their head. I like that one.
Father Joe.
Friday the 13th calendar.
Right.
And Karma while driving with Gary. I'm leaning myself towards the jersey on the William Penn statue because I like how Philadelphia is.
And that's true. That's a superstition. Let's go with that one.
Stephen Norristown. So, Dom, going through the week. Monday, a product you refuse not to use, to only use a brand name is the thing that you only do. You can't use a generic. Chuck in Newtown said the Trojan condom. Great answer there. Tuesday, a great debate. Joe of Exton said the splitting of King Solomon's baby. Wednesday, a strong rush of emotion. Drew in Upper Darby, the plane crash on Veterans Day 2001. It was a collective sigh of relief. Thursday, a change for the worse. Tom and Rosemont, the universal DH in baseball. And you just heard it now, Stephen Norristown. No jersey on the William Penn statue. Rolling the dice now. I got a number 3, Dom. It's Drew in Upper Darby. Plane crash on Veterans Day 2001. Collective sigh of relief. Congratulations. You win letters to Trump.
That is a great emotion, sigh of relief. Again, thanks to everybody. Dan, most involved with this, too, of putting on last night. Thanks to the protesters that came out. We always like that in an event. We love the First Amendment, and we were not paid in rubles, at least that I know of. Greg Stocker doesn't keep the rubles here. These guys don't have cash. When are we getting a wire from Putin? All right, so Richie always shows next. Follow on Twitter at DomShow1210. And we're already looking forward to being with you on Monday. Have a great weekend at Dom Show 1210. Follow along. 4 big hours. Rich Cioli next. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
For more expert appliance shopping advice,